Does it time go live? Am I live? What? Okay. Uh, there we go. We're rolling. Yay. Okay. All right, Slump Busters. So it's just yours truly here, Juju Talk Sports, and I am here to talk all things NFL draft related. Flying solo because Drew's out there enjoying the draft live out there in Cleveland, Ohio. Eris has one of the worst internet connections that could ever be conceived. I think this is just a product of living in the mountains. See, Money is keeping us on track from El Paso, covering the Cowboys. He's mostly going to be crying in the corner depending on their draft day selection. I myself may be doing the same depending on the Niners selecting Mac Jones. Hey, who knows? They might trade for Aaron Rodgers today, so I give myself a little bit of something to think about, or at least to make draft day a little bit more exciting. To go from Mac Jones to Aaron Rodgers, that is definitely quite the separation of church and state as far as my enjoyment in the draft. But anyway, it's good to have you guys in, so definitely be lively in the comments. Enjoy the picks with us. We'll be talking about it as they go through. I'll occasionally bring in some audio from ITV here too to kind of like go through the draft with y'all. Every now and then I hear them talk. Of course, this is brought to you by Manscaped.com. Any Slumpbuster podcast is happy to be brought to you by Manscaped.com, the number one in men's grooming. Come on, guys. Don't be a chump. Use promo code SLUMP. Save 20% off plus free shipping and handling at Manscaped.com. Promo code SLUMP. Come on, guys. Got the Lawnmower 3.0, the Perfect Package 3.0. It's a great deal. Get the crop preserver. Come on. Smell your best. Look your best. Manscaped.com. We're also brought to you by Blue Chew. So Blue Chew, obviously, add some confidence to the bedroom, save yourself some money, and skip those awkward trips to the doctor's office when you use BlueChew.com, promo code SLUMP. Come on. BlueChew.com, Manscaped.com, all proud partners of the Slump Buster podcast. Oh, Caveman Coffee Co. too. Caveman. You need a boost? I need a boost. I wish I had some Caveman on me right now, but might make me a little bit too wired. I don't know if any of y'all have had an opportunity to have Caveman Coffee. It is, it definitely wake you up. It definitely hashtag bust a slump if you get some Caveman Coffee in your system. All right, let's see here. It's actually a little interesting. I'm trying some new things, some new streaming, like stuff that I've never done before. Trying out OBS. I don't know if anyone else is familiar with YouTube streams, or use OBS, but it's definitely a little bit of a learning curve that I will be pushing myself to try and master by the end of this podcast, by the end of this live stream. I don't know if I'll be able to get through all 32 selections, but I will try my best. And this is probably the longest consecutively that I've talked on a single pod. Usually I have a guest or something to work off of, but hopefully you guys are lively in the comment section, because that's going to be where I'm going to really get my back and forth on, get my chance to occasionally just get the water going here. You gotta stay hydrated, folks. Hydration is key to life. I feel like I'm talking really, really fast. All right. I know my Niners are definitely the talk of the town this draft season, given that big trade they made a couple months ago, or actually a little bit over a month ago, to receive the number 3 overall selection from the Miami Dolphins. They sent 2 picks back to Miami. Miami flipped those, got back up to 6. So the Niners are making some moves, and obviously it's exciting, and I think part of the excitement is why everyone's so down on the potential Mac Jones selection. It's not that Mac Jones is a bad quarterback. In fact, I was watching some video of Mac Jones last night. The guy can spin it. He can definitely spin the ball. The problem is when we talk about a quarterback like Mac Jones, you're just talking about limited ceiling, and I think that's probably one of the big reasons why Niners faithful haven't really gotten behind the selection or the possibility of Mac Jones being the guy in Kyle's system. It just it's nothing against the guy. Obviously, he's got some great intangibles. When you have a guy like Nick Saban in your corner, you definitely have some qualities that are desirable. But when you compare him to the other potential selections here, whether that be Trey Lance or Justin Fields, he's not nearly the athlete that those guys are, and that means something in today's NFL. And I think that's why a lot of draft experts are hesitant to give him that initial stamp of approval. Hey, if it looks like I'm looking down, it's only because I'm also trying to keep track of this on all these devices here, phone, tablet. Schefter's coming up with the Woj bombs right now, so I got to stay locked in as much as possible for any potential news. I'm going to try to watch along with the draft as much as possible, but we know some stuff breaks on Twitter beforehand. If something comes out along, definitely let me know in the comments too, something I might miss in case I get on a word vomit spree here. Definitely need some people to rein me in. And also too, at one point I'm going to try to simulcast the Niners selection on IG Live and YouTube Live. That's going to require me to, of course, hold my phone, which I don't know how successful I will be in that. Keep track of comments on both. It's going to be challenging. It won't be easy, that's for sure. But bear with me, guys. We will get through this draft. We will be entertained. And ignore that. I got to play some hype up music to really get us into the stream, get people's attention, get the people talking, get the people moving. Let's give them something to talk about. Do we have any viewers? Do we? Yeah, we got some people. Yeah, some people coming in. I see you. Don't. Who's in the viewing? Who's checking us out? Come on. Drop in that comments. Don't be shy. Let's talk it out. Let's have some fun here, guys. That's what the draft is. It's all about fun. It's all about the possibilities. We see a lot of people getting to live their dreams, make it to the pros, and I think that's part of the really cool experience of the draft here. Obviously, as striding entrepreneur, someone who wants to live their dreams themselves, seeing these guys get the opportunity to go up on that stage, give Roger Goodell a big old tackle, a hug, whatever that may be. It definitely is a moment that you can always appreciate as a sports fan. Even when ESPN is telling you these tragic backstories of players, I really hope they're not going to do that as much this year. I know some of it is part of the guy's story, and you don't want to undersell that when you're talking about the guy. But at the same time, guys, I really don't want to have to know about whether or not the kid's parents had marital issues. A lot of people do, and I think that is a bad precedent. Certainly to set as far as when we continue to draft. Everyone's certainly got a tragic story. I don't know if it necessarily needs to be a thing that defines them when you are putting them in that draft selection. Who we got here? Pedro Rodon. Hey, welcome to the stream, Pedro. We're going to have a lot of fun here today. We're going to talk some of these selections. Who's your team, man? Who's your team? Who are you checking out? Who are you hoping they select? I want to know, obviously, Niners fan here. I'm hoping Trey Lance or Justin Fields. I'm team not Mac Jones. What about you, Pedro? Who are you hoping your team selects? Who is your team? Drop that below. Come on. Got a commercial break. Got to wait. But there's not that much drama in this selection, is there, right? We know it's Trevor Lawrence. It's been Trevor Lawrence for the last 3 years. And I think that's why definitely when you had the Sports Illustrated article come out of how much does Trevor Lawrence love football, I think that's just manufactured drama for the sake of having a story. Yes, of course, Trevor Lawrence is can't fed into it. But, that's just more so like you got to keep them hype. All right, so let's see. Giants hopeful drafting linemen. Well, definitely you have to appreciate that Gettleman actually did a decent job in free agency surrounding the team, surrounding Mac Jones with people he could throw the football to. Now you just want to make sure that he could stay in the pocket and get it to those people. Big year for Daniel Jones. Huge year for Daniel Jones. I think now the excuses are off the table for him. He has to perform this year, and I think getting some offensive line help definitely will go a long way. I know they drafted the guard out of UTEP a couple years ago. He was very impactful on the line. They made another selection on the line last year, I believe, if not mistaken, right? Offensive tackle they drafted, one of the early blue chippers. If they went offensive line again, I wouldn't be opposed to it. I think most teams that build through the trenches have great long-term success in the league. And I think that that's definitely a good way to go. Certainly, like when you look at that top end of the draft, it would be tempting if Devontae Smith or Jamar Chase managed to fall to you. Maybe you get super lucky. I doubt this. I doubt this amount of luck, but maybe you get super lucky and a Kyle Pitts manages to fall to you. Well, Kyle Pitts, Evan Ingram, that'd be a little bit of a hat on a hat, but that would be one hell of a tight end room, wouldn't it? Be a lot of fun to see. If you're Daniel Jones, you really have no excuses if you have Kenny Golladay, Kyle Pitts, and Evan Ingram. That is a hell of a dynamic, athletic receiving group right there. But that's a pipe dream. Unless the Giants want to trade up, get a little creative. It doesn't seem like Gettleman's style to be ultra aggressive, aside from being ultra aggressive on drafting a quarterback that people doubted. I doubted Daniel Jones. I definitely did. Coming out of the draft, of course, the talk of the town there was Dwayne Haskins. How could Gettleman take Daniel Jones over Dwayne Haskins? Well, it turns out Haskins was a little bit. I don't know. I don't want to call the guy a straight up idiot, but come on, man. You're going to strip up mid pandemic and allowing videos to get posted of you. Not to mention, you're missing your first NFL win, the opportunity to take a knee on your first NFL win to go take selfies in the stands. I don't care what head coach, old school, new school, whoever that is. You do enough of that, and you're going to piss off some people. And, well, he's with the Steelers now, so we'll see what goes on for them. I heard Gettleman is going for the best player available on the board, not based on position. Oh, that's always a good strategy to have. Sometimes you could, it's never bad to have too much depth in the NFL. Obviously, injuries happen. We have a long 17-game NFL schedule coming out this year. So I think you want to really enhance your reserves and be able to rotate players. And certainly having depth on the offensive line is always great because, hell, I know it as a Niners fan. Obviously, 3 centers went down for us. We were literally on a 4th-string center. And if we managed to draft a couple more pieces that could have been good rotational options, they could have slid in there, but that didn't happen. So we'll see. I'm curious to see how the Giants selection goes. I don't think it'll be necessarily the most wow you kind of pick, but the Giants are in a position this year. Obviously, the NFC South, the NFC East, we know that it's pretty much open. Like Washington, yes, they won the division last year. They didn't have a 500 record. And the Giants were not too far. They were in that mix up until week 17 there. So I think that speaks well to Joe Judge, who, again, I had my doubts. I had my reserves for a special teams coach coming out of New England. But he showed that he's a competitive coach and tried to fight one of... I forget. He tried to fight one of his assistant coaches who was a foot taller than him. So, he's a tough SOB. I don't know how he is on developing a quarterback. That is one of the big question marks when it comes to also Daniel Jones being there as well. But I think they have good to great defensive pieces from their previous year's drafts. And if they could just put it all together and they could get consistent quarterback play, Daniel Jones needs to cut down on the turnovers. Absolutely, 110% needs to cut down on the turnovers. Double digits fumbles each of the last 2 years, I believe, something absurd like that. Obviously, interceptions. You just can't win that way. We saw what happened with Jameis. The last thing that Daniel Jones needs to be is the white Jameis Winston. And if he is going to do that, can he at least get LASIK surgery? Or stop eating that popcorn before games. It's like the guy from The Longest Yard. Shouldn't have any of that popcorn. And that's what I think whenever Daniel Jones fumbles yet another football. But yeah, I hope that kind of surmises my Giants talk for the time being there. But let's talk about Jacksonville. So Jacksonville's coming up here. Again, we know Trevor Lawrence. He's been the lock dead number 1 overall selection for 3 years, going back to winning his national title at Clemson over Alabama, a team, basically a college, a university that always just has NFL piece after NFL piece after NFL piece come out. I think obviously there's that possibility that Alabama could have 3 first-rounders or 3 people drafted in the top 10, Jalen, Waddle, Devontae Smith, and Mac Jones. And that just obviously speaks to the testament of that culture that Nick Saban built. Speaking of making a culture, Urban Meyer. That's one of the big question marks coming into this year for Jacksonville. How can Urban Meyer acquiesce to the NFL game? And I think it will be a smoother transition than people give him credit for. Urban doesn't go to situations in which he doesn't think he could win. Hell, he even goes to situations that most people don't think he could win, whether that be Utah or Bowling Green, and manages to turn around those universities. Obviously, different ball game, different, completely different sport in a way, college football versus the pros. But I believe with the pieces that Jacksonville has in place, they had some good young play on the defense last year with Josh Allen starting to come into his own. The other Josh Allen. It was a good year for Josh Allen. So obviously, you had quarterback Josh Allen had a good year, but so did outside linebacker Josh Allen. We're gonna text here. Gotta silence that. People heard my Old Spice ringtone. Ironically, I haven't bought an Old Spice in a while. So, if they want to drop by and they want to give that sponsorship, of course, we're more than happy to come up with promo code SLUMP for Old Spice. We got it from manscaped.com here. What the hell? What a shirt here. Seeing the reverse mirror camera threw me off there. But yeah, no, I think Urban Meyer, Jacksonville, Trevor Lawrence, they have an opportunity really in this division. The Titans, we'll see how long that Ryan Tannehill can consistently keep it up, and whether or not this was just a couple flashes in the pan years. Obviously, offensive coordinators moving on there as well. Are you laughing at my lack of ability to realize where my Manscaped logo is on my shirt? It's fine. It's fine. Not sponsored. Yes, Old Spice is not sponsored yet. Not sponsored yet. We will be dropping in those DMs at some point, but not today. Not today, Old Spice. But maybe tomorrow. Depending on how well this live stream goes. We are closing in on 1,000 subscribers after all. So if you're not subscribed and you happen to be a fly-by viewer here and you're curious, what is the Slump Buster? Well, let me tell you, it's a podcast that no matter what slump you're in life will help bust you out of it. So I highly encourage you to hit that subscribe button for the best sports information. By the way, if you're obviously viewing us on YouTube Live, you'd also tune in and out on our IG Live. We have Drew Hagenbaugh, our very own Drew Hagenbaugh, live in attendance in Cleveland, Ohio. So I knew it would come in handy, getting an Ohio-based resident to be part of the Slump Buster Media Group. Even though I'm still kind of curious if Eris, the fantasy Aristotle himself, has determined whether or not Cleveland is its own independent state, Cincinnati's its own independent state, or is it the battle for Ohio, or is it the battle for Cleveland? We're still trying to figure out that geography there as well. But I hope got a couple viewers in here. Hopefully more people roll in as we really get into the draft. But hope you guys are entertained so far. We're just trying to make people laugh. If you've been following us on IG, we love our memes. We love the meme game. Come for the memes, stay for the pod. Slump Buster Podcast. Let's see. Trey Lance seems pretty happy. I wonder if he's going to be even happier in about 20 minutes when the San Francisco 49ers select him. That was my guy. Obviously, when it came out to a mock I did recently with Gunal and Swan of It's KS Podcast on episode 92, I shocked him when I went out there and so boldly proclaimed Trey Lance would be the pick at 3. Obviously, everyone in the media has selected Mac Jones as this guy. And even if Mac Jones is the selection, if you're hoping for that great live reaction, freak out, Niners fan reacts to Mac Jones being selected, throws his remote at the TV, that's not going to happen here. I'm going to assure you. It's probably not going to happen here. But, we'll keep it. Just watch out. But, I wouldn't be necessarily completely opposed to it. It feels like a little bit of a letdown for the value, and it still screamed the value of that selection when it came down to it and people were to talk about that pick. Because you could make an argument that Mac Jones would still be there at 12. hell, you can make an argument. Okay, if you feel like you need to trade up because Mac Jones is going to get drafted before you get an opportunity at 12, the Eagles selection at 6. Unless the Eagles just said, we don't want to trade with you, which I don't know. I can't say if that was any of the conversations. Obviously, I'm not John Lynch. I'm not Howie Roseman. I'm not Kyle Shanahan. But if that was the reason why they didn't just say, okay, let's go to 6, I guess at 3, you do want to be in charge of more of your destiny. And that's which is an odd thing to say because 3, you're still at the mercy of 2 other teams, which of course makes me curious if they did call the Jets a couple times, say, hey, what's going on? Robert Saleh, we had some good years in San Francisco. Went to the Super Bowl together. What do you think? So that kid, Zach Wilson, we've really looked at grabbing that too. A couple first rounders that way, but wasn't meant to be. Which it's interesting because Robert Saleh, I know in one of his pressers recently, said that he feels no pressure to draft a quarterback. Really, Robert? Defensive guy, just traded away Sam Darnold. You don't feel any pressure to draft a quarterback? I don't like Robert Saleh, spicy Saleh. He's definitely got a lot of energy on the sideline. That's what's endeared himself to the NFL media and helped him in getting this head coaching position he's in now. But you have to nail the quarterback. You have no choice, especially the Jets as an organization. They had moderate success with Mark Sanchez, but overall, when you get one of these premium positions in the draft, you gotta hit on them. These are guys who want to wear gold jackets for your organization in Canton one day. These are not guys that you just want to say, yeah, they had a couple good years with us. Didn't work out. We didn't win a championship. No, that's not what you want when you have a top 5 overall selection. So yes, there is pressure, Robert. You have to hit that draft day selection. Any predictions on trade backs? One of the big ones I put out there is I think the number 4 overall selection is going to get traded. I think the Falcons are going to move out of that pick. And my rationale behind it is, regardless of who the Niners do take at 3, I feel as though the Patriots, the football team, the Bears, all organizations that I think will want to target a quarterback, will want to get into that mix to get one of those guys. Atlanta doesn't necessarily have as much pressure on them to do such. I wouldn't completely rule it out, of course, but they can win with Matt Ryan. I would say we've seen them do it before. They, in theory, really just need to start building up that defense. They got a new offensive coordinator there. They have elite pieces now with Calvin Ridley, Julio Jones, and Matty Ice. Even though he's not quite MVP Matty Ice anymore, he still is in that 8 to 9, 8 to 10 quarterback range. And that, with the right coordinator, with the right scheme, obviously it's good enough to get you to a Super Bowl. Get you a 28-3 lead in a Super Bowl. And I think that's one that I'm saying is probably going to happen. I would say the Lions at 7, Panthers at 8, 2 are all potential options, especially Carolina because they went out there and obviously did acquire Sam Darnold, unless they still feel as though they're in the mix for a quarterback. Guess we'll see what they want to do there. Pause for a water break. I've been talking for already, 30 minutes straight? God. How am I making it through a 3-hour stream here, guys? That's a real YouTube streamer for the first time. Gosh. Should I have done this on Twitch? That's one thing. Should I have done this on Twitch? I don't know. I don't know how that works. Either way. That was like one of the most awkward water sips ever. Just trying to keep my focus on so many different things here. Let's see here. 9 playbags. Okay. Let's see. Probably gotta add some more tags in here. Get some more people interested. Get the people talking, am I right? Let's see here. Aaron Rodgers to San Fran. It's certainly a possibility and one that I cannot... if it happened, it would be one of the biggest headlines in NFL history, certainly. anytime I think of Aaron Rodgers to San Fran rumors, I just think about Aaron Rodgers so famously saying they would regret not picking him, and to this point they have. They certainly have. Um, but some drafting isn't an exact science. I get why the Niners were high on Alex Smith back in the day. By the way, shout out to Alex Smith, Project 11, for a great career, retiring, coming back to the field. But obviously, he never quite reached the heights of Aaron, and that's disappointing. I just said it like about 10 minutes ago. Like, when you draft a guy number one overall, you're picking this guy to be a Hall of Famer. You're picking this guy to be immortalized one day. And that's not what Alex is, and that's clear what Aaron is. The fact that Aaron even dropped to the 20s is insane. People talk about Lamar Jackson dropping to 31. Aaron Rodgers dropped to 20. Are you kidding me? Yeah, it's honestly insane when you think about the history of the draft in that regard. But let's see here. Gotta add all the tags. Man, I should have done this earlier. Sorry if this is disrupting the viewing audience here at the moment, but we will be back in no time. Just look away. No, I'm kidding. Trade rumors. All right, Roger Goodell coming out. You see all 10 Jacksonville fans getting really pumped up right now. Honestly, it's kind of... Oh, there's the chair. There's the chair from last year's NFL draft, which took place from the home of Roger Goodell. I'm kind of disappointed we won't get to see that again. I'm disappointed we won't have the opportunity to see inside the homes of these executives. Could have saw John Gruden's draft board again. That was one of the shining moments of last year. Oh, man. Different times. Gotta love Corona. Gotta love how that whole situation played out. Am I right? Let's see here. I'm going to unmute for a minute. Juice Jarvis Landry. Welcome to the NFL Draft. I wonder if he's going to make the selection for him. I wonder what the Browns are going to do this year. Get an Odell Beckham Jr. trade? Is that potentially happening? I know it might not sit well with our home Drew Higginbot, but it's certainly a possibility. I won't rule it out. Let's see here. Did you miss us, Goodell? Did you really? Bernie Kosar. Good times for Browns fans, right? The fumble, John Elway. I'll just put that into your thoughts there. Don't let it haunt you too much. Really? God. I wonder if Drew's going to get lucky and get a chance to sit in that chair and make a pick. GM Drew, am I right? That'd be fun. That must be a comfy chair. I think that probably is a premium chair right there. Obviously, Roger Goodell was falling asleep in it last year. So I wouldn't rule that out being the best dang chair ever created. That is a drafting chair, if I do say so myself. The craftsmanship on it. I know my chairs. That's a fine chair. Let's see here. I'm ready for this. Come on. Let's go. I feel so bad for Joe Thomas. The fact that he never got a chance to be on a winning team, not, and I would say not for lack of trying, but there were some years were the Browns really trying? Were they really? Uh, mm, 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 mm. Jags. You ready? Are you ready for the future of Jacksonville? Can I get a Duval? Am I right? They were almost about to be the London Jaguars if this didn't happen to them. This blows my mind, honestly. Whoop, whoop. How fast do you think the Jaguars are trying to run that card to the picker? They're making sure they can spell every single letter perfectly. Trevor Lawrence, they want to. Could you imagine if Jacksonville managed to F this up somehow? I don't know how. I don't know what they do. Maybe there was some like long snapper named Trevor Lawrence, except he spelled it Laurence instead of Law. Instead of T-Law, it was T. Lawrence. I don't know. I'm just trying to put some bad thought bubbles into Jacksonville fans' heads. I'm trying to get some bad juju in their minds. I'm usually good juju here, but every now and then I got to throw the bad juju just to mess with Jaguars fans. Not that a 1-15 record in 2020 didn't mess with them enough. This team was in the AFC Championship game a couple years ago. How crazy is that? They almost beat Tom Brady, who, I don't know, and we might get a Trevor Lawrence, Tom Brady Super Bowl at one point, right? Let's see. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised. Now, guys, I should let you know there is a little bit of a lag between when I say things and when it seems like the stream picks it up. So, depending on the comment, I might not necessarily be able to sync it up to whatever random thought bubble I'm thinking of at that specific moment. I think maybe were you referring to my potential Jacksonville making a misspelling, a typo, and sending it the wrong card? Long snapper, Trevor Lawrence from Eastern Illinois State, Western, going to Jacksonville. Actually sounds more like a Patriots pick, right? That sounds like a Belichick pick. Guy didn't even play football, doesn't speak a lick of English. Rugby player, actually. That's going to be our number one overall selection. That's probably what happened if Bill Belichick had a top 10 selection. But no, as long as he keeps nailing pick 199s, he's good. All right, so they're kind of going over the lineage right now. So John Elway to Peyton Manning to Andrew Luck. Now here we are with Trevor Lawrence. So two of those three guys won Super Bowls. And then we know with Andrew Luck what happened. Obviously, he retired early, shocking everyone. There still was that rumor that even the Colts today, or earlier this year, tried to reach out to Andrew Luck to try and get him to unretire. Which, I don't know if I want to completely rule that one out. It's been 2 years. It's hard to return to football after 2 years. That was one of the arguments used, obviously, against Colin Kaepernick whenever we're talking about, like, can he still play in the league? Well, when you sit out 3 years, it's hard to come back and play at that speed, play at that level. But, Trevor Lawrence, I just been watching this guy for the last 2 years, and just everything works, everything fits. Hell, if you told me he came out after his freshman year, I would not have been surprised how good he could have produced at the pro level right out the gate. He's got the size, athleticism, running ability, arm strength. He's really the complete prospect. And he's a more mobile version of Peyton Manning. I think even, too, people talk about how cerebral he is. Obviously, they got smoked in the college football playoffs the last couple of years, so I can't even front and say, like, he's a perfect prospect. But the fact he's only had 2 losses in an entire college career, I don't even care about the ACC. That is damn impressive. And, seriously, Jacksonville, wow, that's his wife. Oh, good for you. Good for you, Trevor Lawrence. Good for you, Sunshine. But my point is, damn, Trevor Lawrence's wife just threw me off there. That's embarrassing. my point is that I think all the skills are there for Trevor Lawrence to be a Hall of Fame level prospect one day. And this is the easy selection in NFL history in my mind. I know, again, people are trying to show smoke screens every now and then. The SI article is supposed to be a smoke screen, but he cannot be denied this pick. No one can be denied this pick. Hell, Urban Meyer was in the same room as Justin Fields, and even he knows that Trevor Lawrence is the number one overall quarterback in this year's draft, and worthy of a selection any year, any potential year of eligibility. Heck, it might even get close if you told me Peyton Manning and Trevor Lawrence were in the same draft. You're telling me I could get someone who's that poise in the pocket and has a little bit of mobility to them. Ooh. That might make you think. Then again, the last time anyone picked against Peyton Manning, they selected Ryan Leaf. That didn't go so well for you Chargers fans, did it? You know, I will say this. In Ryan Leaf's defense, when we talk about all-time draft class, if you have been watching Ryan Leaf on the Rich Eisen show, he's really impressive. I love hearing him talk. Ryan Leaf, come on, the Slump Buster. Come on, be a guest, be a pal. We've had some big timers. We've had some mainstream guests before. Head coach Hugh Jackson. We're in Cleveland. Shout out to Hugh. Whatever you're doing. Wish I had your bottle of tequila here. I got some Gentleman's Jack. Not going to break that out here because, believe it or not, I want to actually be sober on this live stream. Yeah, I got shit to do tonight, so I got to be sober on this live stream. Now, if Mac Jones is selected, that might change my mind, but still, a lot of possibilities. Ooh. Got the burps. Dangerous to live television, I suppose. Oh no. Okay, there we go. Did I fade? Okay, I was nervous there. I thought I had ruined the live stream. Eesh. Never. See, this just tells me how technologically, how much I have to learn technology still. I'm still learning new things every day with this. That's part of why I started a podcast. It's a learning experience. It's an opportunity to use skills I've never thought I had before. So, let's see here. Mac Jones. We got 2 minutes on the clock. 2-minute warning here till Trevor Lawrence is officially a Jaguar. Get hyped, Jaguar fans. Get hyped. You earned this. You just had to be really, 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 really bad. But you earned this. It's almost a shame in some ways that the NFL isn't a lot more lottery-based system. Because I would be interested if more like a middle-range team had the opportunity to draft an elite quarterback like Trevor Lawrence. Would that really just put them over the top? Whereas continuously having the worst team get rewarded with the number one overall selection does lead to a little bit of boring, repetitive teams at the bottom staying there for years. Which, hell, what do we have there? Like 20 years where the Raiders were consistently drafting towards the top. I think it's nice that when the NFL has not only parity at the top, but has parity at the bottom. Unfortunately, there's some teams that just stay there, stay bottom feeders. And I think it all comes down to just their continued inadequacy in the draft. And I think Jacksonville is one of those organizations that similarly has been that disappointing to watch. That's going to be a sad Duval. The pick is in. I wonder who it'll be. Let's see here. All right, pick is in. Actually, should I mute it until I at least see Roger starting to walk up? I think that's what I got to do, right? That's a cool font they got working there. The pick is in. Let's see here. Let's go. All right. Seriously, where do they find all these Jaguars fans? I don't believe they're out there. Smokescreen, honestly. All right, Trevor. Well, part of the drama's out. Trevor's at home, too. This lady's got to be hyped. How nerve-wracking must that be? You're going to get remembered forever for selecting Trevor Lawrence. That's kind of cool, honestly. I envy. What? Trevor Lawrence to Jacksonville? What? Great for them, honestly. Like, seriously, this is a good pick. I mean, I as much as I joked about the potential for them to be the first London-based football team in the NFL, I'm happy because, it keeps them around for a couple more years, keeps them relevant. Now, I guess that makes us obviously look towards the next selection here with Zach Wilson. So what is a realistic projection for Trevor Lawrence in Jacksonville? Gosh, so looking at this team last year, how do you go from being 1-15 to being relevant? I guess you would say in that division. Okay, so the Texans are in obviously free fall right now. They fired Bill O'Brien last year, hired a coach that a lot of people don't really believe in David Culley. And obviously we don't know what's going to happen with Deshaun Watson. Hell, the chances of him even playing this year are so remote. You look around, obviously, the Colts are probably the most competitive team, the team that a lot of people think is most ready to compete this year. The Colts just have a more complete roster, and I think are a definite 10-win team so long as Carson Wentz doesn't continue to free fall in his career. And that is a big question mark. We don't know what Carson's going to be for the rest of his career. Is he ever going to recapture that 2017 form? Well, he's with his former offensive coordinator and Frank Reich, so I would think that they would get right on track. He just needs to be a slightly better version of Philip Rivers for them. And Philip Rivers was actually pretty good for them last year for the Colts staff success. And then you look at the Titans, and Titans' offense runs through Derrick Henry. They have a change of the offensive coordinator. Been consistently in that 9-7, 10-6 win range. Obviously, I have to start getting used to saying new records now that we have a 17-game schedule. But realistically for Jacksonville, I would say it would be a good season if they get between 5 and 6 wins. If they get between 5 and 6 wins, that is a successful rookie year for Trevor Lawrence. And I know Urban Meyer doesn't want to hear that. I know, hell, even Trevor Lawrence doesn't want to hear that. But that would be an instant successful year. What does that stat line look like? Maybe 20 touchdowns, 20, 30 touchdowns in that range. A couple rushing touchdowns because he is a mobile guy. He could have. Everyone's comparing him to Peyton Manning. If he is truly like Peyton Manning, get the league in interceptions his rookie year. I don't think he's that guy. I think he makes smart decisions with the football and won't turn over the ball at nearly that rate. But, you can't rule anything out. So 5 to 6 wins for Jacksonville, I think that's a fair place to start for them. I don't think that team is nearly as bad as people think they are. Again, they have pieces that on their defensive side of the ball. DJ Chark, Laviska Shenault, those guys are playmakers. James Robinson, the undrafted rookie from last year, really came on strong for them. So they have pieces around Trevor Lawrence, a lot more than people give him credit for. But they don't have that elite roster. Unless Urban Meyer, again, is a complete culture changer, comes in and instantly establishes the culture of winning, they'll be in that range. speaking of teams that kind of like when you think about their culture hasn't been a successful one or one that has been conducive to winning, the New York Jets. A lot of people had high hopes when Sam Darnold went there. Hey, I'm going with Adam Gase, offensive coordinator, or offensive guy, offensive guru, one that Peyton Manning always speaks fondly of. Well, it didn't work out. And Sam, just literally 3 years later, while Baker Mayfield's having his fifth-year option picked up, Sam Darnold is on another team. Obviously, that's very telling as far as kind of like the Jets organization where they were hiring Adam Gase. It was a weird hire from the get-go. The guy got fired by literally someone in your division. You got to see this guy twice a year, and you thought, you know what? Adam Gase, that's my guy. Like, what did he tell them in the interview that made them believe he was their guy? Old crazy eyes there. I mean, we know he can't win the press conference, but to win the interview, he must really be good at his skills in there when he's looking across from you one-on-one. But here was Zach. The main question, obviously, with Zach Wilson is the level of competition he played at that level. It wasn't good. BYU faced a very wide schedule this year. In fact, their one challenging game, I would really say, was that Coastal Carolina game, and that was Zach Wilson's worst game. I remember flipping that on that Thursday night, that impromptu game, and I was kind of unimpressed. He had his moments, he had his flash-in-the-pan moments in that game, but I was left thinking, this is really the guy that people are saying is going to go in the top 5. And then somehow, as we started to continue to build towards draft day, not only was he top 5, he ended up being number 2, right behind Trevor Lawrence. That doesn't seem right to me, right? Going again ahead of Justin Fields, who's been pegged as number 2 for equally as long as Trevor Lawrence is billed as the number 1 guy. And now, here we are. Zach is sitting in that spot. And, I think with this team is still going to struggle. I don't think that they're going to be a team that's going to get a rookie, get revitalized, come in and start winning right away. I think Saleh might provide a little bit of a spark plug for them to get them at least put their feet to the fire and try and get them competing out the gate. But I don't know. I just see this team coming more in that 4-win range. I don't think I see them making a massive leap this year. The Bills are still going to be good. The Dolphins are a fringe playoff team. And the Patriots spent a ton in free agency. Still have Bill Belichick, one of the greatest coaches of all time, eats rookies alive, eats players up under 25 alive. It's just hard for me to look at them and think, oh, well, speaking of which, the Jets pick is already in. All right, I guess we got to turn up the volume. That was quick. They really wanted to run to the draft board. That's how it should be. Don't waste time. Just don't dawdle. Get your pick in. Let's go. Let's get this. Let's go. Surprise. Justin Fields. Watch. There it is. Zach Wilson, BYU. From Steve Young's alma mater. Steve Young had a lot of great things to say about Zach heading into this draft. And it was an expected pick, obviously. Zach, there was reports that the Jets had already talked to his family in recent years, so Zach was meant to be the guy. Well, now my Niners are on the clock, so I'm going to be trying something. I don't know how well it's going to work, but we'll give it a go. I'm going to try and do IG Live while also doing the YouTube Live. So we'll see if it's not a disturbance for both respective audiences here, or a hindrance to myself as I try and get this going. But let's see here. All right. Checking connection. And it's loading. And we are live. Okay. Oh, well, we got to turn around. Hey, guys. Juju here. So joining on IG Live. Currently on YouTube Live. So I'm trying to do both here. I'm trying to do the IG Live. I'm trying to do the YouTube Live because the Niners are up at 3. which is going to give me heart palpitations as I think about this pick. We had about 7 minutes on the clock for the Niners to run that into the board or trade for Aaron Rodgers, whatever they need to have happen here. This is a stressful pick. I mean, the Niners made it a stressful pick. When you trade up from 12 all the way to 3, you are saying that we are going to be doing some big things. And I think that the Niners, this is their opportunity. This is certainly the opportunity for Kyle Shanahan to really prove his worth here. Because at this point, is Kyle Shanahan good at evaluating quarterbacks? That's a mystery. That's something that remains to be seen. Because Kyle did pass on not only Deshaun Watson, but he passed on Patrick Mahomes. They traded back, got off from Mitch Trubisky, and then they traded up in 2017 to get C.J. Beathard. So at this moment, C.J. Beathard is the main quarterback that Kyle Shanahan has selected. And in fact, one of the quarterbacks that have had the most success with Kyle since he's arrived in San Francisco have been people that he hasn't even really backed. When you think about Jimmy Garoppolo came over in that trade from New England. It seemed kind of more like a John Lynch decision there to pull the trigger on Jimmy when it happened. And also you think about like Nick Mullins undrafted guy, even though Nick Mullins ended up sucking long term. But yeah, I mean, it remains to be seen if Kyle can legitimately draft a franchise quarterback. And now, obviously, there's all this talk that they've been back and forth between Mac Jones and Trey Lance. Justin Fields has shown up in a lot of mocks. Obviously, John Middlecoff, so what we got on the show, not to brag, put it out there that he's talked to people to say Justin Fields is the guy. And Justin Fields would make a lot of sense at this pick. Trey Lance would make a lot of sense at this pick. Mac Jones just feels like the biggest reach to me. And I think when the Niners have been hurt the most in recent drafts, it's because they've reached on people that they didn't have to. But they did it with Solomon Thomas, when they traded up for CJ, when they traded up for Dante Pettis. And all those guys are not on the roster anymore. And I think that that's very telling as far as when Kyle has a hunch on the guy, he's not always right. And sometimes you just need those voices in your ears to kind of like talk you out of things. And if Mac Jones is truly the guy that Kyle thinks he can win with, I mean, myself, I'm hoping that the personnel department was in his ear on this one. Adam Peters, I hear John Lynch, we're big fans of Trey Lance, and I feel as though that's the guy they should go with. He fits the timeline the best. What do you think about the Aaron Rodgers situation? It's interesting. I just don't think a lot's going to happen from it, unfortunately. Like, it would be great to say Aaron Rodgers to the day. The San Francisco kid returns to his hometown to cheer for his home team. I don't think it's going to happen. If you're the Packers, you get eaten alive by your fan base if you were to trade him to one of your biggest in-conference competition. And, yeah, it'd be a lot of fun, but it's not going to happen. I mean, Mel Kiper's trying to talk it out. Man, this pick just has me on pins and needles here. Now, again, I'm not going to be, if Mac Jones is this guy, even though he's not my guy, I'm not going to be the guy that's going to throw a remote at a television set here, throw my camera, my microphone out of anger, but I would say this, I'd be a little disappointed. I was looking up some Mac Jones highlights last night, seeing him spin it. He has something there. He'd probably be a mid-range, first-round quarterback in the normal draft. It's just, the biggest thing is I'm going to hammer home the value of it. Mac Jones, in my heart of hearts, I believe he would have been there at 12. And it's hard to talk me out of that one, honestly. And even if he wasn't there at 12, I think he could have been there at 6. Now, again, what the Eagles said, they won't make that deal. I don't know. I'm not in that room. I'm not with Howie Roseman. I'm not with Kyle Shanahan, John Lynch, all those main decision makers. But what I would say is that seems like that would have been a better spot. I feel like the only reason you trade up to 3 is to get a guy like Justin Fields or Trey Lance, who are all potentially going to get picked. Well, the pick is in, guys. The move is going to happen. So one way or the other, we're going to know who the franchise quarterback of the San Francisco 49ers are. It's going to be interesting to see what my reaction is when I get that pick in myself. Eris, don't ruin this for me. I see that you're on there. My stream might be a little slow. We'll see. Pick is in. Heart palpitations here. It's like I drank like a bunch of K-Man coffee. Promo code something at kmancoffeeco.com to save yourself some money there. 20% off on manscaped.com as well. Just saying. You think the Broncos will trade up? Trade up only if they believe that the quarterback that they want is going to go before pick 6, I will say. Now, will they trade up? Well, you got to look at, so they're currently at 9. Do they need to jump up to 4 where the Falcons are? If they believe that the Patriots football team or Chicago might jump them, that's certainly a possibility. Man, faithful. We'll see how faithful people are after this pick is in. It's really going to be one of those things that tests people's faith here. Jimmy Garoppolo, man, I feel for that guy, though. Can't guarantee anyone will be alive by Sunday, as Kyle Shanahan would say. All right, Roger Goodell walking up to the podium. Here we go, guys. Trey Lance. Here with say with me, Trey Lance. Good vibes. Mac Jones. Yeah, baby. Yes. My guy called it, nailed it. Trey Lance in the Bay. Trey in the Bay, called it, done. Trey Lance, North Dakota State quarterback. Can't say Trey Lance anymore. See, even that was so exciting of a draft moment that even the ambulance had to go by because they knew that I was probably going to die of a heart attack right now just from pure excitement. But Trey Lance to San Francisco. I was saying it just felt like the right pick to make at that spot. As much as Mac Jones, you would say, is pro-ready. He's ready to compete right now in this offense. Trey just fit that timeline better. He has more skills to work with. He will really challenge Kyle in ways as a play caller to be better and try more things. And I think it's the right move. I am so excited for this pick. I am so hyped on this pick. Trey in the Bay. And I just want to say, you heard it first on the Slump Buster podcast. Who nailed this pick, guys? I nailed this pick. Just saying, I'm going to brag. If it looks like I'm looking back forward to, just know that, again, I am on IG Live and I'm on YouTube Live. And I'm trying to entertain both as we go. By the way, I'm going to be staying on the YouTube Live as opposed to the IG Live. So definitely join me on the YouTube Live. Link in the bio for more, guys. Check out the IG Live more. We got Drew actually in Cleveland, Ohio at the draft. He's going to be posting stuff as he goes along too, guys. But Trey in the Bay, yes, I'm hyped for it. I'm ready for it. I still hope for Jimmy. I hope that Jimmy is going to be starting this year because everything that I've been told about Trey Lance is that he is a project as much as he is a prospect. So that's one of the tough things when you talk about drafting a guy who's very raw. But I love the guy that's toolsy, and I think that that's exactly what Trey brings to the table. I'm so excited for this pick. I am so excited for this pick. Thank you, Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch, for making the right pick. All right, well, guys, I'm going to be tuning off the IG Live. I'm going to be focusing purely on the YouTube Live from this point on. So, again, join me on the YouTube Live. Link in the bio. All right, guys. So no longer going to divide and conquer my attention there. We're going to be focusing purely on the YouTube Live again. Trey Lance, San Francisco. I was talking about it. It just felt like a pick that made a lot of sense, honestly. It made too much sense for it not to be the pick. And it's weird because obviously Justin Fields, I looked at that pick and I went back and forth between those two guys. Obviously, Trey Lance versus Justin Fields. Trey Lance versus Justin Fields. Justin Fields had proved it more at the collegiate level than Trey had, and Trey was never the type of guy that people scouted coming out in the same way that Justin Fields. I mean, Justin Fields was scouted and projected as an elite, high-level quarterback. Trey Lance, on the other hand, wasn't even offered scholarships to be a quarterback, especially at the University of Minnesota, where he's offered to be a safety, a defensive back. So for him to sit here today and be the number 3 overall selection after not playing a year of football, only having one game, yes, it's shocking. It's definitely a surprising pick, but I think it's the right pick long term. I'm going to listen to Trey Lance here speak for a little bit, guys. I'm sure that Jimmy's excited to teach you, Trey. Teach you a lot. I'm happy about that pick, guys. Again, I felt like that was the right pick to make for San Francisco. Okay, so this first time a quarterback selected 1, 2, and 3 in the same draft since a very, very long time ago. It's happened a couple times. What am I saying? Let's see. Tim Couch, Donovan McNabb, and Achille Smith. Is Donovan McNabb a Hall of Famer based off those guys around him, Achille and Tim Couch? You got some high end, but that's a rough draft looking about it. So Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, Trey Lance. Out of that 3, who has the most bust potential? As much as it pains me to say it, I think Trey definitely has the most bust potential out of that top 3. But he also has he has one of the highest upsides among that class. And again, I couldn't be more thrilled for it. Guys, it's just when you really work for something, when you really campaign for something, and it happens, yeah, it feels good. Feels good. Sponsorship, Trey Lance, Buster Podcast, manscaped.com. Promo code SLUMP. 20% off. Anyway, guys, I gotta calm down after that. The Falcons pick is in. They ran that up quick. This draft is actually flying. These guys knew what they were doing with their picks. I'm curious, do they go Justin Fields here? They have the pick in, so they're not trading out of it. I guess Kyle Pitts could go there at this spot. It's crazy. This was going to be like a spot in which I marked for a potential trade, and not happening. So, cool. Let's see here. All right, the pick is in. Who are you guys selecting? Yeah, Slump Buster Bob. Damn, I was going to give you so much shit if that was Mac Jones. And, I would have fully expected nothing less if that was Mac Jones with that pick there. All right, let's do this. Let's see who the Falcons will take with the number 4 overall selection. Do.
With the 4th pick in the 2021 NFL Draft, the Atlanta Falcons select Kyle Pitts.
All right. Well, let's see. Give you a shout out. Of course, I'm happy to give you a shout out. Fernando Contreras, one of my best friends. Welcome into the live stream. So your Steelers got a ways to go here. What do you think they're going to do, man? Are they going to be selecting a running back? Are they going to be selecting on the O-line? They got to rebuild a little bit. Obviously, they did have the Pouncey brothers. They both retired this year, so that does leave a hole at center, obviously, for you guys. Good to see you in the live stream, man. Obviously, I'm a little bit happy. Obviously, my Niners selected the guy I wanted to. I haven't got a chance to even talk about this Kyle Pitts selection yet. So Kyle Pitts, Atlanta, Calvin Ridley, Julio Jones, Kyle Pitts. That's a good fucking offense right there. If you're the Falcons, if you're Matt Ryan, and you're Arthur Smith, the new head coach, you have to be thrilled about having these guys in the locker room. Obviously, they're comparing him right now to Darren Waller, George Kittle, Travis Kelce, some of the best, the elite tier. There's that thought process there. Is Kyle Pitts going to be a top 5 tight end out the gate? Well, he certainly has this physical skills too, but with that same token though, how many of these guys actually do end up being a top 5 tight end right out the gate? Let's see, who else we got here? Tony Black. What up, Tony Black? Good to see you. Welcome to the live stream, man. Appreciate having you. Kyle Pitts, Atlanta. That's a good one. That's a good pick for them. I think it does add a whole new dimension to his offense. This guy was practically averaging 2 touchdowns a game in Florida last year. Line him up anywhere, tight end, slot, wide out. The kid's a monster. Obviously, he has measurables comparable to Calvin Johnson. I feel like people throw out the Calvin Johnson measurements a little bit too freely sometimes. Even as a Niners faithful, like Brandon Ayuk's measurables compared to Calvin Johnson, I'm like, whoa, hold up a minute. Megatron was one of a kind. Watch out, I almost damaged the mic here. That's expensive equipment. I don't want to be messing up. I'm not even drinking on this live stream. What's up with that? Should I? Nah, I shouldn't. But let's see. So Kyle Pitts. Now here the Bengals are on the clock here. So I made a video a couple weeks ago that basically said they have to build around their offensive line, honestly. But I feel as though the influence of a franchise quarterback like Joe Burrow will kind of hold strong more than it used to, 10 years back, 20 years back. Certainly coaches, GMs are put in this position more where they have to listen to their players, especially listen to their stars. Even though, again, Joe Burrow, I throw around star tentatively, he still is a second-year quarterback. So I don't think it should influence teams' decision for the next 5 to 10 years out the gate, whether or not to make that selection. Drink. I might. Got stuff to do after the pod, so I'll think about it. Fern. But let's see. If the Steelers go running back, listen, they got some great options there. Najee Harris, Travis Etienne. But back to the Bengals here. Jamar Chase. It just feels like a hat on a hat. It feels like unnecessary depth because Boyd, Higgins, those are solid wide receivers that the Bengals have. You need people to protect Joe Burrow. Look at his knee. Look at that big-ass scar on Joe Burrow's knee. You need to save that guy if you want him to be your franchise quarterback for the next 20 years. If you want the Bengals to potentially compete. Penei Sewell to be in your trenches for the next 10 years, and I think that's what you guys deserve. I think you need a blue-chip offensive lineman. My boy. Trey Lance. They keep showing it. God, I'm hyped. I was so ready. I said I wouldn't react by throwing my water bottle, the remote control, or anything, but I might have. I say that, but when you're in the moment, that could have went very quickly from happiness to anger to sadness. I might have experienced the 7 stages of grief all in one 2-minute time span. Acceptance. What are the others? I don't even know anymore. Here's what I'm gonna drink. I'm gonna be drinking this agua. This hydration is the key to life. So awkward drinking water on camera, honestly. As much as I think I've gotten better about not being camera shy, it's still a skill. It's still something you gotta learn. It's not as easy as just going audio only, which I preferred, but oh well. Well, at least on the bright side, we got this cool setup now. Again, shout out to Bob there. I'm thinking of the brick backgrounds. Everyone's like that since we moved to that. Got a lot of compliments from the guest. All right, so we got the first 4 selections in the books. I think this goes in line with basically where a lot of mock drafts were, or at least a lot of late mock drafts were, because Trey Lance was a little bit of a wild card. Everyone was going Mac Jones at 3. Kuiper was going Mac Jones at 3. Does make you think if Kyle Shanahan just like they walked in that day, Adam Peters, John Lynch, whoever it was, just had a heart-to-heart with him and is like, hey, listen, I get it. You're a great coach. You're a great play caller. But I believe you could win with a lot of different talents. You give yourself more credit than you just need this pocket passer who stays in the pocket and just never moves, that statuesque quarterback who will always make that 5-yard check down. Give yourself more credit than that, Kyle. You can win with a bunch of different quarterbacks, and you can win with a guy that has the elite characteristics of a Trey Lance. Not saying the Trey Lance is elite out the gate, but he has elite characteristics. And you can win with that in the NFL. Even if you don't necessarily win all the big games. Oh, look at what's going on with Lamar. Lamar, they haven't been able to get out of the playoffs here the last couple of years, but they won a lot of games. You got to give the Ravens that. At a minimum, they win a lot of games. And I feel as though where you bridge the gap between winning a lot of games and winning the championship, I think a lot of that is coaching. I think that's where... So Adam Lewis of the What Offseason podcast, we've talked about this a couple times, but it talks about where coaching outweighs talent, and I think there's a lot to that. I think, but even if coaching outweighs talent, you still need talent on the roster, and I think that just having different kind of quarterback, I think that's going to go a long way for Kyle. I think that's going to go a long way for John Lynch and the 49ers organization. The Bengals pick is in, so I'm curious to see where they go with this one. Are they going to go with the flashy pick, go Jamar Chase, or are they going to go with the right pick? Sometimes it's not always about what you want, it's about what you need. And what the Bengals need is offensive line talent. So Penny Sewell, you got to get it. It could only help Joe Mixon. It could only help... Joe Burrow. It can only help every offensive skill position player on that team to have that extra second, that extra half second. That means a ton in the NFL. And that is what Penei Sewell could do for you. Let's see here. Oh, my dad's actually chiming in. Hey, Dad, if you're watching, appreciate you. Love you. Hope you're hyped about the Trey Lance pick like I am. Let's see here. Let's see. I gotta text my dad, guys. Priorities here. It's one of the tough things about trying to podcast, do everything. That's why I kind of shy away from live streams a little bit, because I like to do so much into research and planning and articulating and this and that. Sometimes live stream is a little bit tough for me, but I'm happy to do it on big events like this. Oh, pick is in. Who's going? Bengals.
In the 2021 NFL Draft, the Cincinnati Bengals select Jamar Chase, wide receiver, LSU.
I am not a fan. I'm not a fan of this pick. I understand trying to appease your sophomore quarterback, your franchise quarterback. But I got to tell you, sometimes you just got to make the pragmatic move. You can't always just go for the big splash move. And I really don't love this pick, guys. I'm gonna be honest with you on this one. That's not to say that Jamar's not going to be an outstanding wide receiver. He's not going to have huge moments and come up and big in some games for them. Obviously, if you're going to measure the stat sheet, Penei Sewell's impact in the game versus Jamar Chase's impact in the game, the advantage would tend to always go towards the wide receiver. But here in this one, guys, I feel as though you don't have an opportunity to draft blue chip offensive linemen that often. You don't find that late round still at offensive line as often as you do at other positions like wide receiver. And I just feel like this is the wrong pick for them. Bengals fans, I'm sure there's going to be some of you who are hyped. I know some of your fan base was really split on this pick as well. But Yeah, I gotta say, shit. The alarm clock's going off. We'll be back, guys. All right. Fuck, this is boring. Gonna go watch the Pat McAfee podcast. Wow. Man, I respect that decision. I disagree with it, but I respect it. Pat McAfee is a baller. One day, I will hope to get up to that acclaim to fame. But for now, small independent podcast. Didn't have an NFL career to speak of. So just gotta go with the knowledge I have. Hey, it's just me, myself, and I rocking down this pod. Wish I could break out the alcohols. Not today. Not, unfortunately, something I am in a position to do. But, if you support Pat, you support me. One day, Pat and I will do a collab. I promise you that. That is going to happen. Pat McAfee on the Slump Buster Podcast. Promo code Slump. Manscaped.com. BlueChew.com. Check it out. Actually, we have a similar sponsor. I just realized that. Pat, I forgot, has a Blue Chew as a partner as well. We have Blue Chew as a partner. Hey, Blue Chew Cup. Let's get it. Boner pills and dick shavers. Got you covered. Promo code Slump. Let's see here. So, okay, Dolphins Pick is in. So what the Dolphins are going to do. I thought that they would go with Jamar Chase. Kyle Pitts gone. Could they go Devontae Smith? Pair together the Alabama wide receiver with the Alabama quarterback. They would have that connection there, but AKB, appreciate you, bro. AKB, notice flag, got that still rocking in the background. Ode to the college days. But all right, Dolphins pick. Who do I see the Dolphins going with here? Part of me wants to say they could even trade back out of this pick if there was. No, they got the pick is in, so they're not going to trade back. I think they're going with Devontae Smith. I think that's what's going to happen, honestly, at this pick, because for them to stay in that spot, not move out of it, while also accepting that Kyle Pitts and Jamar Chase were off the board. Wait, no, psych. Retract everything I just said. Penei Sewell here. All right, the Bengals don't want to draft Penei Sewell? Fuck it. We're going to take Penei Sewell. Dolphins, Penei Sewell, make it happen. Protect Tua's right side, left side, whatever it is. Whatever the blind side is for a lefty quarterback, it has to be right side, right? Yes, right side, so right tackle, Penei Sewell, make it happen. Give him the extra second to make that decision. Because that was probably the biggest hole in Tua's game last year. He didn't pull the trigger in the moments that it mattered. Like, you want, if you're going to be why I think there was such an impact when Ryan Fitzpatrick would enter the game is Ryan Fitzpatrick would enter the game, he would just start slinging it. Left, right, Devontae Parker, was it Jamar Grant or whatever the other wide receiving talent was that they're taking Waddle. Oh, you know what? That's also a thing. I forget, there's a lot of contestment whether or not Waddle or Devontae Smith is the right pick at the spot or even the best Alabama wide receiver. But they did go out there. They spent money. They went and acquired. No, Dad, they're not going running back. They went out there. They acquired Will Fuller this offseason. Devontae Parker's still on this team. They have talent at the wide receiving spot. Penei Sewell would just make a lot of sense here. I could be wrong. I'm probably wrong. Let's see. Everyone wants to make a splash in the pen moment here. Get Twitter talking. So let's see what the Dolphins end up doing. Who's going to South Beach? Who's taking their talents to South Beach?
With the sixth pick in the 2021 NFL Draft, the Miami Dolphins select Jalen Waddle.
Hey! Give it to you, Fern. Jalen Waddle to Miami. So they did pair up a Alabama wide receiver with former Alabama quarterback Tua Tagovailoa. Tungvailoa? I still struggle with that name. Fuck. But, all right. Jalen Waddle going to Miami. What I will appreciate from Jalen, certainly he does DBs dirty. Like his ability just kind of a dime. You gotta appreciate the respect between Mac Jones, Jalen, and Devontae Smith. That core Alabama championship talent there. That does leave a lot of questions here for what the Lions, Carolina, and the Broncos do too. Because right now you still have Justin Fields on the board. Shit, guys, like that's going to be a great opportunity for any of those teams there. Wow, the Lions ran that pick in. They wasted like all of 3 minutes on the clock, maybe even 2 minutes to get that pick in. That's impressive. I don't think I've seen a team run that pick in that quick. Did Roger Goodell order them hey, if you have the pick, quit making us wait, just get the pick in, guys? We want to keep this rolling. Well, they probably don't want to do that. They want the ad revenue. They want the commercials rolling. I think so. Tyreek Hill, NFL comparison, yeah, okay, that speed guy. I can see it. He's definitely got that breakaway speed. There, let's see. Jalen Waddle to Miami. Good pick. I mean, first round wide receiver, have him for the next 4 years, 5 years. He is elite level. I mean, Alabama's just pumping him out, right? Wide receiver after wide receiver university, Alabama, honestly. I think, yeah, that's just a great overall selection. Good call, Fern. Appreciate you. Lions pick is in. I wonder what Martha Ford and all them are cooking up here. Are the Lions going to lion? I'm going to use that phrase. I'm going to steal that from you, Daquan. The Lions going to lion this pick. Actually, in our mock, I had them selecting Penny. Actually, Penny has fallen so far. Detroit has to go Sewell, right? Well, when you look at their quarterback, Jared Goff can't move. Jared Goff is the definition of a prototypical pocket passer. So protect the pocket. Keep Jared Goff in the pocket. Keep him upright. And he has shown when he has a proper protection, he's been able to succeed in the NFL. The Lions, they definitely could use some work on the offensive line. So it's the right pick. I mean, if the guy's going to keep falling, unless they want to trade out of this spot because, well, no, the pick is in. I keep saying that. If they want to trade up to the spot. No, if the pick is in, the pick is in. And the pick is Penei Sewell. I think you're right. It has to be because this guy was selected potentially going in the top 5. Now he's sliding down to 7. You can't let him drop past 7. He starts going 8, 9. Then that really just starts shifting the draft board in a substantial way. The Lions have said, well, either way, regardless if it's Penei Sewell or not, he needs to be willing to bite off a kneecap. That is the orders of head coach Dan Campbell. Anyone who can bite off a kneecap deserves to play with the Lions. God, it's just filthy watching these Alabama receivers against some of these DBs in the SEC. They just do them so dirty. All right, well, the pick is in, but you can tell they're like, hey, guys, slow down. We got a TV show to run here. We got to let these guys do their interviews. We got to let them get hyped, their new team, their new organization. I know you're excited, Lions. I know you're excited, Dan Campbell, but slow down, young man. We gotta give Jalen Waddle his shine. That's what I'm talking about. Well, someone got really happy on the phone there. Oh, I think they were just re-showing Jalen Waddle on there. Let's see. Pats trade with Panthers to draft Fields or wait for Mac. Oof. Well, I know for sure that Nick Saban and Bill Belichick have an outstanding relationship. So I would say that Bill would be very content to select Mac Jones. Now with the Panthers making that trade for Sam Darnold, are they willing to invest that much at just the quarterback position? I think so, because their owner, David Tepper, is very impatient. I think the Panthers are still going to select Fields, even with the Sam Darnold trade. I think that's what's going to happen, because the amount of pressure on Matt Rule and the GM to select a elite star level quarterback by the owner, and the amount of just impatience shown there, I think is going to have a trickle down effect. And between Sam Darnold, Justin Fields, I could see that being the quarterback room in Carolina. I could see a lot of competition there. They did just trade away Teddy Bridgewater, so that frees up their ability to do that. Now it'll be interesting to see what the Broncos do at 9, because they did just acquire Teddy Bridgewater. They do have Drew Lock. Do they want to add Mac Jones to that mix as well? In the most recent mock, I said that they would select Rashawn Slater because it just felt like a Broncos pick. I don't know why. But this is this outfit by this Lions fan is just absurd. But okay, Lions pick is in. Penny Sewell, I assume. Maybe. We'll see.
In the 2021 NFL Draft, the Detroit Lions select Penei Sewell.
There it is. All right. Well, Jared Goff, your protection. Ooh. I kind of feel for Penei Sewell. His family in there, they're all wearing these beautiful leggings. Obviously, he's got like that Islander background, and now he gets to go play in Detroit, the coldest, grimmest part of the country, Detroit. I'm sorry for anyone that's watching this out of Detroit, but you can't tell me that you wouldn't prefer Island Tropics as opposed to the surrounding environment that is the cold, frigid tundras of the northern United States. I've made a commitment that anywhere north of the, I guess, Mason-Dixon line is not for me, as I don't like the cold. Austin was cold just a little bit ago, last month, a couple months ago. Not fun. Don't like it. Not for me. But with that said, Penei Sewell, great selection. I'm surprised he actually fell this far. I would have gladly selected him at 5 if I was the Bengals. So with that said, this is definitely the Lions' gain. I mean, this is the guy that you can just plug in, chalk him up at your left tackle, right tackle spot consistently for the next 10 years. Get the 5th-year option in there, obviously, since he is such a high first-rounder. This makes too much sense for it not to happen. And regardless if Jared Goff is the long-term quarterback or not, you still need someone to protect whoever the quarterback is. So, yeah, Penei Sewell makes sense. The Panthers are on the clock now. Yeah, I think the Panthers are going to select Justin Fields here. I think they're going to stick with their guy. Who are the Bears drafting? Ooh, that's a great question there, Art, because originally I had them selecting or trading up to the 4 slots to select Justin Fields, Trey Lance, whoever fell to them. But now they're sitting here in this position at 8, where Carolina has put it out there. David Tepper has put it out there that they want to draft a quarterback. The Broncos may be liable to select a quarterback. The Bears have to jump New England to select the quarterback. If the Bears don't manage to get into at least the top 10, maybe trade with the Cowboys, maybe, assuming that even Mac Jones isn't gone by that point. I don't know what the Bears are going to do. Kellen Mond, Kyle Trask, Davis Mills. Is that where the Bears are going to go? I feel as if you're Ryan Pace, can you afford to allow that to happen? Or are you going to throw the house at Carolina to say, this is our spot? And you got a minute and a half to do it, so you better act fast. But if you're Ryan Pace, I don't think that you let Justin Fields fall off the board, because even if you took Mac Jones, and again, I've had moments in which I've defended Mac Jones just like while we're talking about it, but I feel as though your fan base, the Chicago Bears fan base, might be just as disappointed by that selection. Hoping for a Bears-Cowboys trade. Yeah, I mean, that feels like the right spot if a trade is going to happen because I'm pretty sure Carolina is going to use this pick. They're really letting the time clock wind down, though. They're down to the 40-second mark as I speak. But the Broncos, too, I'm not convinced that they won't take a quarterback. That's definitely a position because if the Broncos don't, the pick is in for Carolina. If the Broncos don't, then it's probably going to be a defensive back. It's probably going to be Rashawn Slater, the next best offensive tackle on the board. They've had struggles at the offensive line position as well, and Drew Lock has his moments. I think it's a smart move for the Broncos to have brought in a veteran quarterback like Teddy Bridgewater to compete with him. Not to say that I don't think that Drew Lock has moments in which he might even be better than Teddy Bridgewater, but then I've also seen moments in which Teddy Bridgewater looks better than Drew Lock. So either way, it's not a quarterback room you really want. And even if they added Mac Jones or to that mix, I don't even think that's a quarterback room they want. I think the Broncos, you hope that the Panthers pass Justin Fields, and then you could grab him at 9. I think that would be a great pick for them. We got to work through some more commercials here. So I guess this is time for me to throw in some commercials of my own, guys. Have you checked out Manscaped.com? Yes, Manscaped.com, the number one in men's grooming. Well, if you use our promo code SLUMP at Manscaped.com, you get 20% off plus free shipping and handling on the number one ball trimmers on the market. Yes, I said ball trimmers because, you know what, we're here to bust the slump, guys. And, having the downstairs region, all properly groomed, smelling fresh, that's a good way to do it. Also, check out BlueChew.com. Come on, guys. Don't be a chump. Use promo code SLUMP. Save yourself some money. Get your first month free. Yes, I said free. You just pay the shipping. Add some confidence in the bedroom, which we can all use. Skip those awkward trips to the doctor's office, which we could use less of. And again, collect more green in your pocket because you're not spending it on all these wasteful things. Certainly you're not spending it if you use promo code SLUMP at Manscaped.com, BlueChew.com, or CavemanCoffeeCo.com. Those are my ad reads, guys. And we certainly do appreciate our partners. But yes, going into it, let's see here. So it looks like we're back. I think David Teffer is going to put a lot of pressure on them to select a quarterback here. I think so. He's already proven to be that kind of owner that likes to have his hands in the cookie jar. Let's see here. That asterisk mark? What's that supposed to mean? Pat's that. I don't even know what that's supposed to mean. Sorry, Fern. Let's see here. Oh, Roger Goodell speaking.
2021 NFL Draft. The Carolina Panthers select J.C. Horn.
Ooh, okay. Not the pick I was expecting. Well, rather than a quarterback, they went cornerback. And J.C. Horn's a good one. I think a lot of people had a lot of questions over him, Patrick Surtain. Those guys are all in that mix. Asante Samuel Jr. The other one's escaping me right now. Speaking of it, obviously there's a lot of great players in the NFL draft. J.C. Horn, he's long, he's athletic, he's a big cornerback. And the fact that he's able to compete so well in the SEC, I think speaks very well. You have a lot of great wide receivers in the SEC. Hell, they all play for Alabama. So, they're seeing him. He's doing work on the Heisman Trophy winner here if you're watching the highlight package as I'm talking right now. And that's not easy to do. We saw Devontae Smith just blow by plenty of corners this year. And the SEC always does a great job of some of the best defensive backs in the league. A great pick in terms of ensuring your secondary. I think it's a surprising pick, though, still, because that means Justin Fields is still sliding. He's there at 9, Broncos. At 9. If the Broncos don't select Justin Fields, then I have my serious questions about John Elway's ability to evaluate a quarterback. I had my questions about that anyway, unless it's just knockout, punch in the face obvious, like Peyton Manning and getting Peyton Manning in free agency. I don't know that John Elway can evaluate quarterbacks. And I think that sometimes that being so great and legendary and awesome like John Elway is can blind you to being able to properly evaluate the position because you always evaluate those players relative to yourself. But I feel as though, yeah, if they pass on Justin Fields here, I think that just makes too little sense. I'm actually surprised we haven't had I guess aside from the one from the Niners a month ago, a trade tonight. We haven't seen a trade. I kind of wonder if the Cowboys were targeting J.C. Horn at all, because that might throw off their draft board a little bit. I know C Money definitely wants them to select Patrick Surtain II, which would make a whole lot of sense. I think that would be a great pick for them. But yeah, let's see here. Oh, I got mentioned in a story. Let's see what story I got mentioned in. Is that you, Art? Let's see what you said. Let's see here. Appreciate you dropping by. Thank you, Art. The story share. You the best, buddy. We appreciate you. Art and Jacob Do America. We've done a couple of collaborations with them. Man, I just love some of the guests we've had on the podcast, honestly. Like, it's not always about getting the main streamers and everything. Sometimes it's just all about networking, the journey, and talking to some of the, great people who do sports podcasts, do podcasts in general around this country. Like, the fact that I have friends in Canada, Chicago, Cali, New York, all over the country because of doing this. Man, it's been a hell of a journey, and definitely, guys, if you're subscribed to our channel, we appreciate you. Just know that we love you, and we're just going to keep pumping out the content. It's a content game. That's really what it boils down to. And we're trying to do the best, we're trying to do the best we can. It's not easy out there. I mean, we got to compete against the Pat McAfee shows, the ESPNs, the Fox Sports. Sports is a tough niche to really stand out in. And that's why I'm happy with where our growth is. First couple of years of doing this, closing in on 1,000 subscribers. Not a lot of people could really sustain that, do that. It's a lot of work. I tell you that. Sometimes I ask myself, is it worth it? But you know what? Yeah, it is. When I see that smile on your face, or after the Bears disappoint you so much, I know it's worth it. And I know it's worth it to save people money when you use promo code SLUMP at manscaped.com. Yes, I said promo code SLUMP. Anyway, guys, we got a commercial breaks. We got a lot of commercial breaks now. I think we were flying for a little bit now. And now as the picks start to get a little bit harder, people start coming off the board, the mocks aren't necessarily lining up the same. Now we're in a position in which the teams are taking a little bit more time to evaluate. Honestly, I feel as though the Broncos are getting calls on this pick, and I think that's what's taking them so long. Because this is one of those prime draft slots that's eligible for a trade. And as much as I think it would be a letdown, I think the Broncos are willing to trade down for Davis Mills, to trade down for a Kellen Mond, a Kyle Trask. I think it would be a mistake, but it's certainly liable to do it. According to Mal's Best Available, Devontae Smith, Rashawn Slater, Justin Fields, Elijah Vera Tucker. That's embarrassing. And then Micah Parsons. And Micah Parsons is a stud, folks. Don't let anyone tell you anything different. Out of that, I mean, when I look at the Broncos, I just think that clearly there's a hole at the quarterback position. I think Justin Fields can fill it. Tough division, though. Tough division at the quarterback spot, though. Because between Derek Carr, Patrick Mahomes, and Justin Herbert, that's already a tough division to be in. Certainly for a rookie quarterback, and you're expected to be within. What is your realistic expectation for a quarterback in that division? Are you supposed to be as good as Patrick Mahomes? Are you supposed to be as good as Justin Herbert was last year? I don't know. He broke every rookie record that existed. Hell, are you even supposed to be good as Derek Carr? A 70% completion percentage, over 20 touchdowns, 30 touchdowns. That's a high bar to set for a rookie. Let's see, Mac Jones is all upset. I'm sure, but here's the thing. We said if the Niners didn't select him at 3, he would continue to fall down the draft board. And sure enough, that's what's happening. I really think that Mac Jones' best shot at getting drafted was the Niners. Or not getting drafted, but drafted in that top 10, getting drafted in that first 5, was the 49ers. And the fact that he didn't get drafted to the Niners, I think really just put him in a spot where, yeah, he was just going to slide. And who knows how far he'll slide. I don't think he slides past 15. If he's still there at 15, I think the Patriots will definitely take their shot at grabbing him. But, yeah, no, he's definitely not too thrilled. His agent's not too thrilled. That's who's really upset. Whoever's got him signed. Who was that? Is that Rosenhaus? Probably not. I think Mac Jones is a little bit too boring for Rosenhaus. That's a little exciting, guys. He likes the ABs of the world. T.O. Anyone with just a couple initials. Not MJ. Well, maybe one MJ, but not this MJ. Big Mac attack. All right, let's see here. Ba 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 ba. Ba da da da. The pick is in. Who is going to Denver? That's a lot of orange. Those are some big cowboy hats. Pure foam? Let's see here. All right, let's. What do we do? Look at this fan. Jesus. Got the poncho. And they give Raiders fans shit.
With the 9th pick in the 2021 NFL Draft, the Denver Broncos select Pat Surtain Jr.
Okay.
Defensive back,
Okay.
Alabama.
Back-to-back defensive backs. Both ahead of Justin Fields. This is shocking. This is shocking how far Justin Fields has continued to slide. I really think, yeah, Vic is happy with Denver. Yeah, no, it's a great pick for their defense, but they need to worry about the quarterback spot. And wow, Patrick Surtain going there. Man, actually, Cowboys fans, I'm sure you're pissed there because I know certainly C Money would have loved Patrick Surtain being in have a star on his helmet there. Yes, this has to be the Bears trading up. The Bears have to be blowing up Jerry Jones, Stephen Jones right now and just saying, let us get up. Let us right our wrong. Let us get this quarterback. Yeah, it just makes so much damn sense for them to trade up right now. And if they don't, I don't know what the Bears are doing, honestly. This would be a great opportunity for them. I thought they would have to trade up to 4 to get Justin Fields. You're telling me they only have to trade up to 10? That's a great value. That's awesome value. In fact, I don't know. I mean, it's crazy. As much as I love the Trey Lance selection, the fact that Trey Lance is going so many picks above Justin Fields is a little jarring. And sure enough, too, guys, it's funny to look at the pre-draft hype and realize, man, everyone's saying, wow, we're going to have quarterbacks go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hell, we'll have Davis Mills drafted all the way up until 10. No, guys, that's just not how the draft works. We say that every year, even the premium years in which we've had quarterbacks come out, like 2018. It just doesn't work that way. You have a Josh Rosen slide. You have a Lamar Jackson slide. Josh Rosen slid rightfully so. Lamar Jackson rightfully not so. But yeah, no, I don't think Justin Fields is going to drop all the way at 31. Certainly, I think he's not even going to drop past this pick. Would it be crazy? Let's just play a complete wild card scenario here. The Cowboys actually just straight up select Justin Fields. How bonkers would that be? I know they paid Dak. The Bears trade for Dak Prescott. Watch. That's what's going to happen, Art. Would you be happy with that outcome? I don't know. You'd probably be happy over anything at this point compared to what you've had. This is a huge year for Matt Nagy. At least if you drafted a rookie like Justin Fields, you'd buy yourself more time if you're Nagy. Especially, too, I don't think Nagy's a bad coach, necessarily. Bad luck. Obviously, the double doink by, was it Bradley Pinion? No. I forget. Cody Parkey. Yeah. The double doink by Cody Parkey. Wow, Mac Jones is so fucking pissed. My dad was not kidding. Jesus, look at that face. He's like, he looks sad, almost. Mac Jones looks so sad. He's like, man, I wanted to be the number 3 overall selection. Listen, again, I think Mac Jones is going to be a good quarterback for someone. There's not a bad thing to these guys sliding, whether you're Mac Jones or Justin Fields. If you slide, you go to better organizations usually. You go to organizations that are more fit to win now. So I think as long as you're a first-round selection, guys, punt on the rookie contract, you're really there to make money long-term. You think Lamar Jackson's complaining about going to the Ravens? No. He went to an organization that was in a position to win. If he goes to the Browns at the time, if he goes to the Jets at the time, does he end up like Sam Darnold right now? I think that's just not a win-win for anyone. So we got 4 minutes on this Cowboys pick here. We're timing it down. Man, wonder if is Jerry Jones on the yacht still? Where's Jerry during all this? Is he over there in Cleveland? Has he been vaccinated? I don't think Jerry would get vaccinated. Cowboys trade to Eagle. Wait, why would... What? Why would you trade in division? What? What are the Cowboys doing here? Because if the Eagle... Well, let's stop there. Let's pause here. The Eagles and the Cowboys made a trade. And if the Eagles are in the spot, that really only means one thing. They're going for a quarterback, right? I guess, hope you didn't buy a Jalen Hurts jersey because this one's going to hurt you. Not to be too punny on that one, guys, but this one's going to hurt. Because they have to be selecting Justin Fields here. That's the only explainable pick I see at this spot. Devontae Smith, I guess they could, but I doubt it. You don't typically trade up to the spot. I'm really curious what these details are going to be looking like. Wow. The Eagles and the Cowboys made a move. Wait, the Eagles still have the 12th pick, though? The Eagles are going to go two out of the next 3 picks? What are they going to do? Are they going to go Justin Fields, and then go with Devontae Smith? Is that possible? You see Devontae Smith, he's looking at his phone right now. I just noticed the big gold DS on there. Is that necessary? You know who you are, Devontae. I like the bow tie, though. Look, sharp pocket square. Pocket squares always look great, guys. Honestly, I think I'm going to start wearing more pocket squares these days. That's beyond the point. Anyway, Devontae Smith, Justin Fields, that'd be one hell of a combo there. I mean, the wrongs of Jalen Reagor or J.J. Arcega-Whiteside as well. Those are not... Howard Roseman's on the hot seat for his wide receiver pick, so go out there, get Devontae Smith. I think at bare minimum, even if you don't nail this 12 pick, nail Devontae Smith. Get that pick right. I wonder how far the Cowboys slipped, though, making that trade. I still haven't seen a graphic show up of the details here. You know, it's time to go to old Twitter sphere. Check to see what Adam Schefter is tweeting about now as this trade is happening. Man. Okay, so first trade, too. The first trade of draft day, I think that's also very impressive. Let's see here. Seems to be a ton of relief. I'm all over Niners Twitter, and seems to be a ton of relief on the timeline. Yes. Let's see. You know, if I could share, I still have to figure out how to do some of these tweets. You know, let's see here. Maybe I can share a tweet here that I put out there, guys. I'm going to try something here. I'm going to try to get creative as best I can. OBS is a tricky thing to try and figure out here. Because I was very wrong today. I put out a tweet today. Let's see here. Follow me at Juju Talk Sports, by the way. Juju Talk Sports. No promo codes. Just that's where you follow me on Twitter. That's how Twitter works. Anyway. Also at Slumbuster Podcast. It's not all about me. It's about the team. I'm always about my boys. Because I got a really big team. We're working on the rings. Don't got any rings. No rings on this finger. Devontae Smith, right? That's what this is? Okay, so here's the draft, actually. Eagles get the 10th overall selection. The Cowboys do get 12. Okay, so that makes sense. And they get the Eagles' third-round pick. Wow, that's a great slate. That's a great trade for Dallas. They only have to move back 2 picks. I like that for them, honestly. But that still leaves some questions on what they want to end up doing at their next pick. Obviously, defensive back would be great. I would love them to go get Micah Parsons would make sense too. Elijah Bear Tucker, I don't think he falls past the Giants. Said by Savon in our most recent mock draft. Check that one out. Impressive trade by them, honestly. Let's see here. Let me see if I can share that tweet with y'all. Try and figure out the technology. We have the technology, folks. Let's see here. Okay, I could share an image. Neat. Browse. This might just ruin everything, but I'm trying stuff out. Okay. There we go. Did I figure it out? Figure it out? Yes. This is the tweet I had earlier today. How it started, how's it's going. I thought, that was some chemistry in that pick between Kyle and Justin Fields there. I thought that was going to happen. But look at John Lynch with that big boy energy. Mac after the playoff win. Would that have been something there? Let's see here. How do I get it off the screen now? That's the next question here. All right, let's remove. For sure want to remove. Yes, I do. Okay. Okay, well, that's nice. Now I know how to play with graphics a little bit more. Look at me figuring out technology. Look at that big brain energy here. All right, Roger Goodell's walking up to the podium. Let's pause to listen to the commissioner.
The Dallas Cowboys have traded the 10th pick to the Philadelphia Eagles.
Shocking.
The 10th pick in the 2021 NFL Draft. The Philadelphia Eagles select Devontae Smith, wide receiver, Alabama.
Not shocked. Again, though, let's keep on sliding. If you're Justin Fields, just keep on sliding. Now you're down to the 11. Okay, so Rashawn Slater's still on the board. Elijah Vera Tucker's still on the board. There still is depth at O-line if you're the Giants. Are the Giants going to trade now? I feel like maybe getting Rashawn Slater would make a lot of sense here. He's a very raw prospect. But he has the tools, and he's a very toolsy guy. You want to draft tools whenever you're talking about the NFL draft. You just don't want to fail in your daily life. You want to, you want the most toolsy players, those 5 tool guys, as they would say in baseball. But, yeah, Devontae Smith. I mean, the guy could just fly by guys. I wonder if he's going to be able to fly by guys at the pro level quite in the same way. It was one of those necessary picks if you're the Eagles. You can't let that guy drop past you because you've allowed too many of those guys to fall past you. And I think Jalen Reagor can really step up in his second year. He started to show signs of life once Jalen Smith got in, Jalen Hurts got in there. And I think I think that maybe it was a chemistry issue that he may have had with Carson Wentz. Plus, he missed all that time with injuries. I believe he was battling a groin injury most of the season. J.J. Arcega-Whiteside has just done nothing as an Eagle. Nothing. So you had him as a premium pick, and I think that was a great selection by the Eagles here. All right, guys. I think maybe I got an hour left on this one, though. I don't think I'm going to make it through all 32 picks just based off the pace of the draft. So just kind of giving you a little bit of an update of where I'm at. As far as the trade situations right now that we're looking at as we speak, I feel as though this would make sense for the Giants unless they're just really sold on Slater or Vera Tucker. Yeah, I think that's where I would go. I would be inclined to go with that one. A lot of scenarios, a lot of ways this can break down. Let's see here. Got the feed blowing up right now, guys. The feed is blowing up. Just people liking the memes here, which I'm okay with. Oh, there it is. There it is, Art. The Bears have traded up with the New York Giants to draft Mac Jones. Is that going to happen? Is that going to piss off the entire Bears fan base? How do the Bears feel about Mac Jones versus Justin Fields? I'd be curious to know. No, I think this pick is Justin Fields. I wonder how fast they're going to rush this pick to the podium. Even let the time go. Come on, guys. Just get the pick in. What are you doing? Quit wasting time. Get the pick in. You know you want to. You know you want to take Justin Fields. You want to make this happen. Right the wrongs of Mitch Trubisky. Even though, if you're John Zagel and you're watching this, you have said you are more than comfortable with Mitch Trubisky having been there. I mean, Mitch was fine. He won games with him. Actually had a very high winning percentage. Sorry, Art, did I trigger you with that potential Mac Jones selection? Well, welcome to my life. That's how Niners Twitter felt for the last month when Kuiper and Daniel Jeremiah and, I don't know, Bucky Brooks and everyone and their mother said Mac Jones. But I don't know. His phone's not blowing up here. I don't think it's Mac. I think it has to be Justin Fields getting this pick. It's a nice blue suit. There's a nice blue suit that Mac Jones has on, though. Can I just stop to say, Mac Jones, I may not approve of you as a prospect, but I approve of your suit choice, my friend. I think you should have went something more bold, though. Something like a red suit. I felt like that would have been more appropriate, especially coming from Alabama. That Crimson Tide. But, are we showing the Fields household, or what was this? Okay, I was going to say, they know what's up. Oh, we're just going to be in a completely empty room, and then we're all going to go in front of the TV as soon as the pick's in. What? No way. All right, so pick is in. This has to be, right? It has to be Justin Fields. I'm not trying to overhype it. Davis Mills. Kellen Mond. Who's it going to be, Art? Are you ready for the potential ramifications of this pick? Are you ready for them to impact your franchise for years to come? Again, I think if you're Nagy, depending on how this season looks, you at least buy yourself another year with Justin Fields. I think if you're Nagy, you have 2 years. If this is down year after this, or if Justin Fields just looks really bad, maybe that might result in Ryan Pace getting shit canned, but it'd be hard to fire him after this. Hey, he allowed the board to fall to him. He didn't have to rush that trade up like I was envisioning. Justin Fields just happened to fall down the board. I wonder if it had to go with the epilepsy news. I wonder if it had to go with some of the stuff that Orlovsky was saying. What that is, because for so long, Justin Fields was right behind Trevor Lawrence. And it was kind of shocking to see him fall this far. I think, too, even like teams that drafted at skill position players as opposed to quarterback position, it was surprising to see them not take a quarterback. All right, well, here's the big man walking up with the pick. All right.
Through this year's draft-a-thon, the NFL is supporting our nation's path to recovery from COVID-19 by focusing on the critical issues of mental health, food insecurity, health disparities, and the digital divide. Throughout the pandemic,
Gotta love those pre-rehearsed statements. Or not rehearsed, just read off a note card, huh?
and for older and rural Americans, we're joining forces with the CDC Foundation as part of a
Roger Goodell feels so phony reading this, honestly.
nutrition, safety, and health.
I think with something like this, whenever you read it off a card, it just looks bad. I mean, even if he does have it, just more inflection in your voice could be really huge in this particular reading, because obviously it is a serious subject he's talking about, like path to recovery, making sure people have food, mental health, all great things causes to get behind. The way Roger Goodell is reading the card just looks so bad.
Congratulations, Carlos, and please take it away.
I wonder how Bears fan mental health will be if this is not Justin Fields here. Art, you can attest to this.
Well, how exciting is this? With the 11th pick in the 2021 NFL Draft, the My Chicago Bears select Justin Fields.
There it is.
Ohio State.
Hey, got a quarterback to fall down to. This might be the most excited Bears fans can honestly say they've been for a quarterback drafted this high. Not even that high, not even in the top 10, not even top 5. You had a top 5 overall selection that went to Mitch Trubisky, and I don't think Bears fans got that excited about that pick. I think a lot of people were left draft day like thinking, really? Mitch Trubisky? Which is kind of funny because, like, for as high end of a prospect as Mitch was to get selected in that spot, I don't think he ever got that pro day buzz that some of the other players that go in the top 3, certainly the number 2 overall pick, usually get. But yeah, here's the opportunity. Ryan Pace, right or wrong. Ryan Pace, you've done a good job at gaining talent at other positions. Well, now quarterback here, which is one of the defining characteristics of any GM. This is really where you make your money. This is really where you get that contract either picked up or denied for another year. So I'm excited to see where this one goes for him. Let's see. Some of the highlight package, mobile, big. If you just watch the highlights from the game against Clemson, some of those deep throws were immaculate. Obviously, he's not opposed to cold weather, playing in Ohio. That's something, too, sometimes we miss when we see a lot of these elite level prospects and they're coming from like places where they typically don't have to play in inclement weather. And obviously that is not so much a concern when you play in Columbus, Ohio. This is just a quarterback that I could see playing in the NFC North for a while. Hell, you might not have to worry about Aaron Rodgers anymore. You don't have to worry about Matthew Stafford, and if Kirk Cousins is your biggest opponent, then maybe the Bears are just in a great spot right now to run this thing in the NFC North. I might be getting a little bit too ahead of myself, but I don't think Chicago Bears fans mind too much, do they? Probably not. And so now the Cowboys are back on the clock. Caleb Farley, maybe. They still need a defensive back. They kind of just let the board fall to them, I guess, where it is. They did have some offensive line breakdown from where they've been in years past. Obviously, guys have retired. Guys have gotten hurt. So maybe like Rashawn Slater or Elijah Vera-Tucker make a lot of sense at this spot, too. I actually got to see what the Bears had to give up to move to the Giants pick. I assume they probably just traded down and got their other first as well. Let's see here. My guys, I'm super happy. Yeah. I bet are like, that's a good pick. It's a great pick if you're Justin Fields to go to a spot like the Bears. Obviously, they're set up to win now. They were a playoff team last year, and in many situations, it just felt like maybe they were that quarterback away. Even though, so athletically, Mitch is actually probably comparable to Justin Fields athletically. Like, they both are good at mobile passers, but I think where it really comes down to it is I don't think Mitch ever really had that arm strength to compete in the NFC North when the weather started to shift. It just didn't ever. I mean, just some of the throws he missed. I don't think that's going to be a problem with Justin Fields. Bears fans, get hyped. That's a great move. That's a great draft day slide to you. And all things considered, Justin Fields drafted at the number 11 slot. It's not a terrible drop. I mean, we've seen worse. I just talked about Aaron Rodgers dropping all the way to the 20s a couple of years ago. So, as far as for the Niners go, I think this also solidifies Jimmy Garoppolo's place on the roster, of course, because the Bears and the Patriots were the main places I saw him potentially falling. And at this point, we're only a few picks away from Mac Jones falling to the Patriots at pick 15. I think that's the likely destination. So, I think that pretty much solidifies Jimmy Garoppolo is not going anywhere and is going to be the quarterback of the San Francisco 49ers in 2021 with plans for Trey Lance to succeed him in 2022, which is fine because, hell, if Aaron Rodgers could have Jordan Love drafted behind him, I don't think it's crazy to say that Trey Lance could be drafted behind Jimmy Garoppolo. Less accomplished in this league, and even though I support Jimmy, I still think that is a great move by the Niners. All right, the Cowboys pick is in. It's not going to be a flashy selection, which is one that Jerry Jones is used to selecting. It's going to be a very pragmatic pick here, and I think that's the way to go for the Cowboys to long-term succeed in this league. So, let's turn it over to the commissioner. Caleb Farley. We'll go Caleb Farley here. They need defensive back help. Interesting, back-to-back picks, and they have a live read for a cause. I got nothing opposed to the cause, just interesting timing. I think you would have spread it out between a couple picks rather than the back-to-back selections. Why 11 and 12? I don't know. Maybe they figured because the Cowboys, as much as I hate to say it, the Cowboys are a big-time draw, and people pay attention to their picks, so opportunity. All right, here we go. Cowboys, who's going to be? Oh my God! See, this is why people hate the Cowboys. This is the reason why, guys. Micah Parsons, really? I mean, okay. Okay, though, this is the best player available pick to me because Micah is amazing. I really love Micah Parsons. In fact, if the Niners weren't in a situation where they had a draft quarterback, I would have said Micah Parsons. I would love him out by the bay to pair up with Fred Warner. But that's a good pick. The only thing is, though, when I think about the Cowboys and where they currently stands, they did commit a lot of money to Jalen Smith. They do have Leighton Vander Esch. Is it basically them kind of throwing in the towel on Jalen Smith? Because I know he was making a lot of bad reads last year. Vander Esch got a little bit banged up, too. I guess it never hurts to have more depth at positions like this. And then certainly, too, Mike Parsons does have some edge rushing talent, too, to pick up like D-Law on the outside there. They do need help on defense as a whole. But I feel as though their secondary was still a little bit weak. Now, listen, all things considered, athletic linebackers, I think, are very underrated in the league. And I think have always been a huge asset to have, regardless of time period. I know they've been devalued, but Mike Parsons, the Cowboys, I don't think it's a terrible reach here. Right? I think, in fact, you can make an argument that Mike Parsons was the top 10 talent, just the quarterbacks kind of made everyone slide down, even though we've had a couple of quarterbacks slide as well. But I think once you have Surtain gone, and once you have J.C. Horn gone, you are pigeonholed almost if you're the Cowboys to where you don't have those main two corners that you were targeting. And yes, you can make Caleb Farley, you could have went Asante Samuel Jr. But no, I mean Micah Parsons, the guy's going to be a great linebacker in the league, regardless of competition at his own position group. Build up from the front seven. It's not too crazy. Pair him with Leighton Vander Esch. Even with Jalen Smith, you long-term move on from him, which might be possible. I think the Cowboys will want to save some money, so if there's a way to get out of Jalen Smith's contract, just keep Vander Esch and Parsons together. I think that's probably the way that they would like to structure things moving forward. Hey, the Chargers are on the clock here. The Chargers are on the clock. What should they do? What should they do, Eris? I'm gonna challenge you. It's on the clock. All right, let's see what the Chargers are gonna do here. Well, hey, they could go with Sean Slater. They never hurts to build up that offensive line here around Justin Herbert. You know you have a star quarterback. That's the biggest part of the puzzle that most teams have to figure out. So I think that's probably where they end up going. They have great talent at the wide receiver position between Mike Williams, Keenan Allen. They had a kid come out last year too that really came out of nowhere and had a great rapport with Justin Herbert as well. I think that they're probably going to go on the offensive line here. That's probably the right pick for them. Let's see. Bob in the comments. I can't believe the Bears moved off of Pro Bowler Mitch Trubisky just to steal away my Justin Fields dreams at the last second. For those that don't know, Bob is, of course, a Patriots fan, a Pats fan. So clearly he's looking forward to them selecting Mac Jones with the number 15 overall selection here in a couple picks. The irony is he was going to give me shit had the Niners selected Mac Jones with that 3 spot, and here we are with the inevitable Mac Jones to the Patriots pick, which seems just around the corner from happening. Does it not, people? It just feels like that kind of selection. Because you can't keep going with Cam Newton. Cam Newton just looked like a shell of himself last year, or this year actually. I just think that this is a great opportunity for them to select some more assistants, or for them to transition off of that quarterback, to transition off Cam. There we go. God, I think it's just, what are we on? 3 hours in the stream? 2 hours? God. I'm a bill for live television yet? Man. Well, I appreciate y'all for sticking with me as we go through this together. I would say the biggest surprise was just Justin Fields obviously falling where he did. As far as early round surprises, you could say Trey Lance at 3, even though not surprised this guy. I did say that was going to be a selection after all. What about that shocker, Trevor Lawrence at 1? Wow, Trevor at 1. Who'd have thunk it? It's disappointing, guys. I don't think I'll be able. There's more draft coverage to come, and I don't think I'll be able to finish with y'all. Of course, I'll be more than happy to break it down tomorrow, or coming off of this stream here. But unfortunately, probably around that 9:30 Central Time, I'll probably have to disengage from the stream here. Anyway, well, we got the commercials rolling. I guess I gotta get the commercials of my own. This stream is brought to you by Manscaped.com. Promo code SLUMP. Come on, guys. Don't be a chump. Use promo code SLUMP. Save 20% off plus free shipping and handling on the #1 in men's grooming. Come on. Get the proper tools for your family jewels. Manscaped.com. And after you're done there, after you're done grooming them, then you got to get them going. You got to get some BlueChew.com in your life. Come on, get that extra confidence in the bedroom. Skip those awkward trips to the doctor's office. And once again, save yourself some money when you use promo code SLUMP. And you get your first month free at BlueChew.com. BlueChew.com. CavemanCoffeeCo.com. Manscaped.com. Promo code SLUMP. Don't be chump. Save yourself some money. Check it out. Proud partners of the Slump Buster podcast. God. Showing Tom Brady commercials here, huh? Tom Brady, pick 199. Haven't heard a lot of that yet tonight. But then again, I've been mostly turning this on mute so I can get in my own commentary, my own thoughts, the internal machinations of my mind for the Slump Buster viewing audience. Again, I appreciate you guys sticking through the stream. I don't do a lot of lives for sure, but I think we've had some entertaining conversations on here. Definitely, I would say that's one of the big things about the draft itself is the type of conversations it inherently breeds, the possibilities, the excitement, the mental chess, the 4D chess that some of these GMs play with each other. Let's see, Chargers pick, let's see, is in. Well, that's either Slater or Vera Tucker. I think that's like an obvious selection for them. Um, they selected linebacker last year, Murray. Obviously, Justin Herbert in the first round had a very successful first round here. Rashawn Slater's in tears. So I'm 99.9% sure that he got the call that the pick is his. Unless he just really got a little 420 friendly before that camera moment there, which I would doubt. Pick is in. All right, guys. I gotta turn this back on. Is that annoying when people go, I don't know. Random thoughts. So listen to Mel Kiper and Booger McFarlane next to each other. Good old Booger. It's good to see him. Just not a Monday Night Football broadcast, am I right? Let's see here. God, how happy are Bears fans right now, honestly? Honestly. That, the fact that Justin Fields was able to follow them. Well, here's the pick. There it is. Rashawn Slater. Again, very raw prospect, but one that if he develops into the caliber of tackle that most people see him as, will be great to keep Joe Burrow or Justin Fields or Justin Herbert healthy for a long time. You got outstanding wide receiver talent again with Keenan Allen, Mike Williams. It's just a pick that makes too much sense. He, if I'm not mistaken, he was one of the opt-outs too. Sorry guys, I don't claim to know every prospect inside and out, but and I may be misspeaking here, but he did opt out of the 20. Yeah, there it is. Opted out of the 2020 season. So you have to look at the tape from his previous year and just make a lot of assumptions based off that. But he's a big boy. And he's just dogging some of these defensive linemen, watching some of the highlight package. You don't get a chance to see too many of the highlight package for offensive linemen, so it's always kind of nice to see it. Northwestern, as a football program too, has really come along in recent years, and I think it's because of recruits like Slater here that they've been able to do that. Obviously, they have a great coach in Pat Fitzgerald. Many people project him to be an NFL coach sometime in the near future. A good pick for the Chargers. I mean, a necessary pick. Not one that fantasy football Twitter is going to get excited about, but one that if you are a Chargers fan, which we have one on as part of the Slumpbuster crew here, you should be excited about. Keep your guys healthy. Tom Telesco obviously is shown to be a very capable GM, and this is a good one. Their draft room. It's got a surfboard in the draft room. They're really trying to hammer home, well, we're Los Angeles now. We're not the San Diego Chargers. Got a surfboard. Radical. Got the beach. L.A. L.A. love him, all right? She's got the gold chain for him and everything. It's kind of cool to honestly see fans and the players interacting like this. I actually kind of want to see them keep that kind of tradition as well. I like how they got the most intense fans, though, to do this. Oh my gosh, let's see, the Vikings pick. Their fan has to be coming out in a full Vikings regalia, right? Or full Vikings, I don't know, what do you say, uniform or whatnot. Might be in poor taste, though, after the whole Capitol incident in early January, right? We had the guy, the QAnon guy that looked like a Viking. Probably in poor taste to have a guy in full Vikings garb run out there, but whatever. It's a draft. It's oh no, hold up here. The Vikings traded with the Jets. What could the Jets be doing here? Could they want on Elijah Vera Tucker? Maybe. Doesn't seem like the type of pick you would make or certainly the one that you would trade up for. Interesting. That's a hell of a curveball to get thrown there. The Jets are going in to make this pick. 2 first-round selections. Obviously for them, they have to do a lot to make this franchise kind of like make a turnaround here. I'm kind of curious here what could be happening. What does the Twitterverse have to say here? What is Joe Douglas doing with this pick? What is Joe planning? You just got a franchise quarterback, Joe. You got to protect him. Makes a lot of sense if they do. But they did get Mekhi Becton last year, so they've already started the process of rebuilding that offensive line. They need weapons, though. They don't really have like a definitive wide receiver. Maybe this is where they grab the Ole Miss wide receiver. Obviously, he's starting to move up the best available spots as is. You have Waddle, Smith, and Pitt's all gone, so those top end of those difference maker playmakers there. And just moving up, being aggressive, you gotta like that if you're a New York fan. You know that's a slowly dwindling audience. I think I trash on New York too much. For a place that I haven't even really been. Wide receiver 1, yeah, I mean, it makes sense. They're probably going to grab the Ole Miss wide receiver, right? By the way, Sports Plus Live, Edgar Rodriguez dropping in the chat. Appreciate you, man. Thank you for dropping by. Much love. You are one of our favorites. We appreciate having you. I hope you're doing better after the car accident, man. I hope you're feeling healthier, feeling stronger. Hope you're excited about Patrick Surtain being in a Broncos uniform. I know, obviously, you are based out of Denver, based out of Colorado there. So what's your position on that pick? Okay, let me know. Drop that in the comments. Drop that in the chat. Now, it's been an interesting draft. It's disappointing, though, that I won't get a chance to finish this pod with y'all. Or finish this full first round. Man, the joys. Defense wins championships. Yes, you are right there. But does Teddy Bridgewater and Drew Lock win championships? Or that combination of those two? Maybe. Maybe not. I don't think so, but I could be wrong. Listen, I like Drew Lock's confidence and swagger and poise. And who knows, maybe you guys might still trade for Jimmy Garoppolo. I don't want you to know. I like Jimmy. I want him this year. But yeah, no, I mean, Surtain could go a long way. I am certain that he will do well in the league this year. I haven't thrown much puns in it. Last year we had a dad joke tracker. This year, no one's here to keep track. It's just me by my lonesome. Me, myself, and I. But, like either way, having fun, enjoying the draft as it's going on. Let's see. More State Farm commercial. Oof. See Aaron Rodgers on a State Farm commercial right now. I tell you, that has to be, yeah. Interesting. Speaking of Aaron Rodgers, yeah, you're dropping in the comments, Edgar, too. Like, does that mean John Elway does want to target his guy again? Wouldn't that be an interesting thing for John Elway to miss out on all these draft picks at wide or at quarterback, and yet somehow manage to convince Peyton Manning to come to your franchise in free agency, and then to flip that a few years later, about close to a decade later, go out there and get Aaron Rodgers to come to your franchise? I mean, that would be Pat Riley-esque of John Elway to do that. But He's got that charisma. I think some of that shine has started to wear off though, ever since some of the draft picks they've made in recent years, whether that be Trevor Simeon or Paxton Lynch or God, who else have you guys had? It's just been a whole shit show of quarterbacks ever since Peyton Manning, honestly. Brock Osweiler, fuck, Brock Osweiler, what a name to remember. I'm sure at least, Broncos fans tend to remember Brock a little bit more favorably than Texans fans do. Because Broncos didn't have to pay him nearly as much to play quarterback for them. Feed in America. The Jets. What did the New York Jets do here? The pick is in. Alright, well, I guess at this point, gotta unmute for the commissioner. Okay, that's about what I said. And, I think it just more so a smart pick. You got the franchise quarterback, and there's Mac Jones talking to Bill Belichick. Isn't that the still obvious still shot there? See that little smirk come across his face? It's like, oh man, I got to go to the Patriots. I think that was just an obvious selection, right? For both picks. So I guess that takes a little bit of the drama out there seeing Mac Jones on the phone because the guy was pissed, in a mood, disappointed, sad, and suddenly gets a phone call with number 15 on the board with a selection that we all assumed was going to go to the quarterback position. So yeah, Mac Jones is going to be Pat Jones? I don't know. With the Patriots. You are Patriot Mac. Yeah, I mean, they're just trying to capture lightning in a bottle again with the, I guess, Tom Brady element they had. I mean, everyone's compared Mac Jones in ways to Tom. I think that's always just such an unfair comparison because to be Tom Brady, I mean, come on. We're talking about a guy who's 7 rings, going for 8. The Bucks have made some moves to shore up their team from last year, bring a lot of people back. So yeah, I think honestly after that selection though, guys, I think I'm gonna call it a show. Call it a show. I think it was a successful show. But just, again, disappointing. I wish I could finish the stream with y'all, but or finish this entire first round with y'all. But yeah, wait. So the Jets are picking again? Is that what I'm gathering? Wait, the Jets had back-to-back picks? Is that what's going on here? Couldn't they have just done the picks back-to-back? Wait, what is going on with the graphics here? Okay. Was that a spoiler by the ESPN graphics crew? So I don't know who's watching while also comparing this together, but for a brief second there, the Jets graphic showed Mac Jones quarterback selection, and it's funny because to me because I can't help but think of the fact that Bill Belichick was the Jets head coach for a day. Well, I guess Mac Jones was a Jets quarterback for all of 5 seconds, essentially, with that little moment there. Little broadcast graphics, oops, I know all about that. I'm still trying to figure out how to do these YouTube live streams myself. That looks like Rex Ryan. Broncos.
have provided more than 5.6 million meals in 10 different states through Food for Vets. God, thank you for your service to our country and for helping those facing food insecurity. The stage is yours to do the big thing.
Alabama quarterback Mac Jones.
With the 15th pick in the 2021 NFL Draft, the six-time world champion New England Patriots,
Okay, got to flex on us.
Mac Jones.
Of course. Kind of just made sense when you really think about it. God, Mac Jones has such a weird body. I saw a meme today that said he looked like a Lego figure, and that suit just does not look right in the midsection. Am I right? Either way, I'm focusing on the wrong things here. Mac Jones is a Patriot. Obviously, if you're Cam Newton, having a quarterback that can replace you easily, obviously you're not on the most stable deal. You're getting paid about $5 million. You got a first-round rookie behind you. This is the highest ever draft selection at the quarterback position by Bill Belichick. Yeah, I gotta say though, their fan that they brought up was one of the most boring looking fans out of this entire process. Like, most of the fans have gone brought up to this point have been decked out in whatever their team's attire is. Meanwhile, the Patriots guys in jeans and a jersey. Just jeans and a jersey works for me. Actually, lie. I think I might stay till the Raiders selection. I want to kind of see what they do. But, Mac Jones, I think it's more likely than not he starts at some point this year. I give it till about week 6 until we see Mac Jones in there. Because the Patriots invested all this money in free agency, so I think that they will want to see what their veteran quarterback can do. See what Cam can do with having some more talent around him. The Cardinals ran up that pick quick too. So I think it's very, 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 very likely that they give Cam Newton a fair shot to use the weapons that they surrounded him with. And if he's not getting it done, then they're going to just go back to that Tom Brady 5-yard check down, quick strike offense. And I think Mac Jones can succeed in that system. Obviously, Brady did it for years. Mac can do it. I think it's just going to be all relative to does the way the game is played now affect Mac Jones' long-term future. It didn't affect Brady, but Brady is fucking Tom Brady. So don't stop with comparing Mac Jones to Tom Brady. It's just not a fair comparison at all. It wouldn't be a fair comparison to any quarterback. Even Trevor Lawrence shouldn't get compared to Tom Brady with the level of prospect he is. Talk about a guy with 7 rings now. Mac. Big Mac attack. Once he slid past the Niners, I think 15 was just the obvious pick that most people had him penned in at. You can make an argument that I could saw the Broncos taking him at 9, even the Panthers for a brief moment at 8 seemed like a possibility there. But he just fits this offense, this scheme too well. He's a great scheme fit. And I think for a great scheme fit, but not necessarily a great talent, 15 makes more sense than 3. If he would have went at 3 to the Niners, it would have just been like a complete reach. This is about where Mac Jones in any given year, I think, would fall as far as quarterback ratings go, quarterback rankings go. I will be intrigued to see by what week he gets out there. I'm sure there's going to be some Vegas betting lines on that one as well. The Cardinals pick is in. When I grow up, I want to be a football player. I might be Mac Jones. Just, what is this writing here? It's just trash. No, I'm kidding. Good for you, Mac. I didn't want you as my quarterback, but I'm sure. Congratulations on making it to the NFL. Just looks like such an old school quarterback, doesn't he? Like, the way that suit just fits on him. Seriously, I'll just go back to it. The way the suit fits on him, like, just so awkwardly positioned. Button's about to come undone. I don't think it could hurt him to lose a little in the midsection. I think once he gets an NFL trainer, I think that should be a priority for him, honestly. I know it served him well at collegiate level, but you don't. Here's again the problem with Mac. You don't get to take Devontae Smith with you. You don't get to take Jalen Waddle with you. You don't get to take Najee Harris, Jerry Jeudy, or Henry Ruggs III with you. That offensive line, yes, you'll have an NFL offensive line with the Patriots, but you won't have an NFL offensive line while everyone has college defensive ends to work against, like you did playing at Alabama. All right, let's turn it to the commissioner here.
With the 16th pick in the 2021 NFL Draft, the Arizona Cardinals select Jalen linebacker from Tulsa.
Okay, that's one. This is one guy I'll admit. Like I don't know a whole lot about him. 6'4", 260-pound linebacker out of Tulsa Conference, USA. I don't know a lot about this pick, to be honest. I do know this. I'll say this: the Cardinals do need help on their defensive unit. That's why going out there and acquiring a J.J. Watt makes a lot of sense for their team. I don't know. I mean, you just got to have continue to draft these athletic linebackers. Obviously, they went and invested in Justin Simmons last year, or Isaiah Simmons last year, and it didn't necessarily work out the best to them. Why did Mac drop to the 15? Also, I'm back. My phone needed a charge. Yeah, no, I mean, I think 15 just always felt like a right spot for him. Makes sense why he dropped to 15, honestly. But yeah, and I'll continue that conversation because I'll be honest, I can't really digest too much more of the Cardinals pick here. I don't know a lot about Zaven Collins. All I just know is hopefully my Niners don't have too much trouble with him. But yeah, Mac Jones sliding in 15 it just always felt like a rightful draft selection. Part of the problem was if the Niners would have selected him, to me, would have been the value would have felt off. It would have felt like comparable value for what the player that Mac Jones is. And then him going to 15 with the Patriots, it's a scheme fit. It just fits what the Patriots want to do. They want that 5-yard check down offense. They're not taking those crazy big shots. Basically, Bill Belichick, Josh McDaniels, they're going to scheme it up to get guys open in the soft parts of the defense. And if you're Mac, you just got to get it on them. And that's literally all he wants to do. They don't even really want a playmaker. They want someone who can play within their role in the offense. You think they enjoyed having Cam Newton run it for 15 touchdowns last year? They don't want to have their quarterback with 8 passing touchdowns by week 15. I think for any other team, I don't think it would have made sense. But for the Patriots, Mac Jones makes perfect sense. All right, guys. Like I said, I think the Raiders are going to be my last pick on this live stream here. Just because they're the Raiders. They always do something crazy. I'm taking a gamble on the Las Vegas Raiders to do something wild here with the last pick of the Slumpbuster live stream here on YouTube. What that may be, anyone's guess is. My guess, though, is defense. At this point, I don't even care who it is. They just need to pick a guy. They need to pick whether that's Caleb Farley, whether that's Asante Samuel Jr. Definitely their defense backfield has struggled. If Micah Parsons was still there, in fact, I really wanted them to trade up for Micah Parsons. If he was still there, I would have selected him in the spot. You can make a case for defensive end. I know the kid out of Miami is still there, and I think that would make a lot of sense for them as well. Originally from UCL, I believe the Miami kid's backstory too is he transferred out of UCLA, so he's from the West Coast to go play there after just eventually just falling out with Chip Kelly, as many people do when they fall out with Chip Kelly. Chip Kelly doesn't have a lot of fans amongst players. Isn't that a consistent theme, folks? But yeah, no, I think the Raiders, I think that's what they have to do. I don't even know what the big splashing move would be for them, unless you told me this is the spot where they trade up to grab Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers going to the Las Vegas Raiders. That's actually where I had it. What? They gave the Raiders like 5 more minutes? No, the pick is in. That's what I was thinking. The pick is in, guys. Don't psych me out like that. Got things to do. Got plans. Can't. No, my plan tonight was to do this live stream, and I think it went really well. Had a lot of input in the comments. Had a lot of fun talking and interacting with you guys. Thank you for tuning in. Means the world for me, obviously. Like independent podcaster here, independent sports media company, the Slump Buster. We're coming up. We're trying. So like to have you guys tuning in as we close in on 1,000 subscribers means the world to us. So again, thank you to everyone. Thank you for everyone who dropped in the comments. Just know that we're going to get better and better and better. And by the time we're done, Slump Buster is going to be a name that you will hear on YouTube. Trust in the process. Trust the process. Except we're better than the 76ers, but still. All right, pick is in. Let's see what the Raiders are going to end up doing. Just going through the first round. So Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, Trey Lance to the Niners. My boy, Trey in the Bay. Let's get it trending. Trey in the Bay. Love it. Mac Jones going to the Patriots. Yeah, called that. And Justin Fields going to the Bears. Man. Good pickup by the Bears. Solid. Let's see here. Raiders. Let's see. All right, so yeah, Jalen Phillips. That's the name I was missing on there. Quiddy Payne, defensive end. Hearing his name get a lot of buzz too as we kind of led up to the draft. See, you could make a case for the Raiders to go with game more like pass rushing talent. Max Crosby's great. Obviously, you want to see more from their first round selection from a couple years ago. Ooh, why am I missing on that name? Drafted number 4 overall, shocked everyone, not named Josh Allen. Clelin Ferrell. You want more production than you got from Clelin Ferrell, so Phillips makes sense at this pick. Tell us, Commissioner, what you got? Okay. Okay, well, I will say, obviously, the Raiders traded a ton of their offensive line, traded away Trent Williams. Yeah, my thing is, I'm sure Leatherwood is going to be a great or a solid pick for them in terms of their offensive line. I just don't think it was the position of need there. But, hey, offensive linemen out of Alabama, they always tend to work out. So whatever can protect Derek Carr or whoever is the eventual starter in the Raiders organization. All right, guys. Well, that's going to do it for me. Once again, let's give a shout out to the partners. Manscaped.com, the number one in men's grooming. Manscaped.com. Get your perfect package 3.0, your lawnmower 3.0. Today, use promo code SLUMP to save 20% off plus free shipping and handling. Make this the number one overall selection in your life. And if you want to be able to perform, like some of the draft picks that we saw get selected, you want to perform at an elite level, I highly recommend you check out BlueChew.com, promo code SLUMP. Get your first month free, just pay the shipping, increase your performance in the bedroom, guys, skip those awkward trips to the doctor's office, and, just in general, get the Blue Chew. It's a good product here, and we love our partners here. And then, hey, if you need a little bit more energy like I do, cavemancoffeeco.com, their nitro cold brews are amazing. Just the right amount of boost for you to get you kick-started no matter what part of the day. Gets a little antsy too, but honestly, Caveman Coffee Go, promo code SLUMP. Promo code SLUMP on all these products. Come on, don't be a chump, use promo code SLUMP. Remember, like, comment, subscribe. Let us know in the comments below if you're watching this after the live stream. What was your most shocking prospect? If there's anything more crazy that happens, just know that I'll probably come out with some more videos here tomorrow and the following days to react to who went where in the later rounds here. We know there's going to be some trades, I'm sure. But, all right, guys. Well, It's Juju Talk Sports, and I'm saying I will see you next time. Stay safe, happy, and healthy.